Think that we don't see who you are. Laughing to the bank like. Think that
We like this song so much, we play it 3 times in a row. It's so good. One more time.
One more time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Happy Halloween!
Halloween.
Christmas.
Our next pod wouldn't be on till after Halloween.
So yeah,
we
we
got
did
the
that.
hats.
I should have faded that out.
Hats
That felt
for
weird,
bats.
right?
That's for bats.
Yeah, these are our
Hats.
new hats.
Costumes.
What's your hat?
You got Santa. You got
Eat this chair, actually.
Mexican flamboyant pirate, and you got that guy,
Cowboy.
Pacer.
cowboy.
Predator. He's
Pacer,
a predator.
the pacer predator.
He's a pacer predator.
He's a quick predator, bro. All right,
Go crazy.
Oh,
throw in some hood go
That's
crazy.
a good song.
it's
yeah.
like a song, yeah.
We got
White girls
copyright
go
issues.
crazy.
So, little copyright issues.
So we had a little 2-week hiatus, right?
Well, it's a 1 week.
Yeah.
But we haven't been on 2
Oh,
weeks.
this would be a
But
good
then
time
it makes
to.
it 2 weeks.
do
We
a
missed
ver-
1 week, but it's 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks. Huh?
I can do a really quick little recap of why we didn't then.
Yep,
Because I
go
don't
ahead.
know if I've gone into detail.
Yeah, please.
Well, cool. Can you share this information?
Yes.
Okay.
It's over now.
All right.
I was on jury duty, and I got picked for the jury, which is why I couldn't be here for the pod last week. The thing that happened was an inmate in Hendricks County Prison grabbed a mop bucket wringer, the thing you wring the water out with, pulled that off, and slammed it on this guy who was sleeping in the break room on a couch. Slammed it on his head, but the guy had his head over his arm, like sleeping like this. So he shattered the crap out of his arm. Then jumps on top of him, starts beating the crap, and there's video of it, so we gotta watch.
You gotta watch
Beating the
video.
crap out of him, and then choking him and screaming, "I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you!" Had to have like a bunch of inmates pull him off, and yet they were trying to say that he was innocent of attempted murder and strangulation and battery.
He sounds innocent to
So
me.
we found him guilty.
Yeah, I
It
bet.
sounds to me like he probably, if he was in Hendricks County, he didn't do anything too bad, but he really just decided his fate.
Yeah, it was. We found out after that he had been incarcerated for a lot of other things, so we felt better about that. But he was like crazy. We watched him like afterward. So they tried to find him. They tried really hard to argue that it was not attempted murder. But he's saying, "I'm going to kill you." He tries to kill him. He's strangling him. The defense attorney even said, "You know what? The strangulation. We're not even going to argue that. He did it." And then they showed the guard who interviewed him after in like a padded cell, and the guy's just like out of his mind. But he's like, "No, yeah, I was gonna do it. I was gonna kill him." And he's like, "What was the beef that started this?" He's like, "Nothing. I had nothing against the guy. I'll do whatever I need. I don't care about human life." And they were still trying to argue that it wasn't attempted murder.
This is how it went.
That's how you missed.
That's how I missed. Yeah, it was a 2-day trial. It's interesting. They sequester you and all this shit.
Thank you for your duty, man.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
They paid me $80 a day.
I haven't done that yet.
But we also had a lot happen with our league as well.
We did.
Not as much as you would hope.
Last week we had more happen than this week.
Yeah, we had like 10 trades during the pod.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have any.
No. That was 2 weeks ago. But I mean, last week didn't more happen trade wise?
There were 2 trades. There was no trades this week.
Yes.
No trades this week so far. Still early.
Still early.
But
Let's get this sleeper.
we had if you want to pull up the week before this one, we'll go through the results.
Okie doke.
I know Zach and I had a showdown for the ages. You had a
Supposed
showdown.
to be.
What does that say? I can't. Man, I need my eyes checked. Fuck.
I
So
can,
Zach and I had a barn burner. I can't even remember what does that say?
you might want to look at the right monitor, but
But that's not that's no. You need to go back at another week.
I'll pull it up.
oh, you want to go to
Yeah.
week 6?
Yeah, I want to go to like week 6 when Zach and I
Week 6.
played.
There you go. I can even maybe zoom it in for you.
So Zach and I had an epic battle of 121 to 77. That made me 5 and
Look
1.
at you. You can read that.
I put it up.
Oh.
So that put us both to 5 and 1, right? Or am I wrong? Yeah, 5 and 1.
Yeah.
Then we had the Caterpillar, which is Kevin, going to the TD bar.
I like that name.
Brad. And that was another. Man, the Lubbock crew had a tough week, huh?
The Lovitts are making everyone's
Yeah.
points against really low.
That sucks. So we
Yeah.
got Kevin winning, and then we got Robin pulling a big dub over Jordan there, 115 to 106. Mothman did make a triumphant comeback, but unfortunately, we have Steve Harvey taking another shot in the defeated team. Have you seen his logo,
Yeah.
by the way?
I love looking at the
Have you seen it,
pictures.
Will?
Yeah.
Freaking
He's like-
hilarious. And then, unfortunately, you took it to L to Dalt, Will. That's pretty much what happened last week.
Yeah.
That's how it went down.
I'd be taking those L's.
But you didn't this week,
I didn't.
or last week.
Defeated no more.
You're
even though I'm
un-
playing defeated this week. I beat you!
You did beat me. You had a good week, 114 to 86. I'm on a cold streak.
A
If you
very,
notice the left side, you want to be on the left.
Mine's
but it changes.
mine's changed. Mine
Well,
says
it's because of you.
yeah, it should have been all left.
Yeah, fuck that. The losers can't look at it. Only the winners.
Yeah, only the winning people.
I took a massive L. I will say I like half my starting lineup. So that's a caveat, but a win's a win.
All I'm saying is you did have CMC, so.
I did. That's all I should need, right? But
Who else was
And I had Brock Purdy.
you did. That's true. You had a good week. I mean, you got Gus Bus going for 20.
Yeah, that was
That
what
happens every
You
week.
did have
What the
Bye.
fuck was that?
Goddard got 16.
I
That was
picked
a
him up
good
for
week.
nothing, too.
You did have
Thank you,
Bipod,
Kevin.
I'm sorry, I'm being mean.
Yeah, and I had DK go hurt.
Yeah.
And I had Connor hurt.
Well, I had Fields hurt, and
You're right.
somebody-
And you have A-Chan.
and Achan's
That's a
out,
big one.
and
So
Herbert's out.
We're
But
tired of
there's a lot
hearing
of
your
ifs.
IR story.
There's a lot of ifs, so it is a win. So congrats, you broke the seal.
I will take it.
And then we had Robin versus another man. Brad had another bad week.
I love it's a rough, man.
Then we had Brad versus Robin. So Brad had 70 points and Robin had 127. I think this just was a shellac.
It was a schlock.
What was it? It was Josh Allen, ETN, and who else?
Brad's on a couple of bad weeks in a row here. Is
Well,
what's
he
going on.
had Jerome Ford and Pittman do one play long touchdowns. That's all they
Yeah,
had.
that's true. Pittman had a great week, didn't he?
Just one play. He had a
That's all you
75-yard
need.
touchdown.
Damn,
uh,
Javonte Williams had 11. That's good for him.
Waddle. I'm surprised by Waddle a little bit right now.
He's always injured. It's a new injury.
Yeah, but he hasn't gotten over like 14.
No.
Thanks, bro.
I still love Waddle. I would love to have him.
Yeah,
If you notice, none of the wide receiver twos are good this year.
None.
Yeah, it is.
Last year they were. This year, and I think I said that thing in the chat.
Addison. That man's going to be
Yeah,
good.
because he's a one, right?
No.
When he becomes two, he's going to be amazing.
I said the thing in the chat. There's two players, Hill and CMC, are both higher than every quarterback in the league.
It's unreal.
Like scoring is kind of strange.
But better days ahead, hopefully, Brad.
Better days ahead, Brad. Your team is still pretty solid.
What was our next matchup? I forgot.
We got Jordan and Coleman. So the Mothman needs to bounce back now.
He's
This
a
is
double.
Do you know about the
he needs a
Mothman?
double bounce.
I know all about the Mothman.
You know about my great granddad?
I knew about your great granddad. Well, I didn't until last
He
week.
wrote a book.
He wrote a book. I told my fiance about that. She was excited.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
She wants to
Go
go
buy it.
She literally, for our honeymoon suggestions, she suggested going and visiting the Mothman.
Did she really?
Yeah.
I've been.
I said no.
Don't go.
We are not doing that.
Don't go.
I can't remember though. It was honeymoon or it's just like a trip location, but I said there's no
Either
way.
I would
way,
say
you're
more of a
out.
trip location, maybe not the honeymoon. But that's
Big
Better not be.
Yeah.
each their own with it. But the Mothman did fall back down to earth a little bit.
The Mothman.
Well,
He only.
he and Bijan had a killer headache, so
What happened with Bijan? Can you walk me through that?
ouchie headache.
You know, he did get a carry.
To get a carry.
It's interesting.
He didn't get goosed.
All the like sports radios I listen to were talking about it like he didn't play any snaps and he wasn't out there at all until the end. But he actually was in a lot the whole game. They just when he was in, they would not give him the ball.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It is sketchy. Why do you have like a guy who's sick and can't play and has a headache, but you're still putting him in the game and having him block and do football things?
That's the weird part of it, yeah.
17% of staff.
Really,
Sure.
really
And have you ever heard anyone say they have a headache that bad, like when you're paid that much money? Like it's
It is.
You
it
can
was a
have
weird one.
you can have a really bad migraine and be completely unable to play. But if that's the case,
like you just
why
shut
are
down.
you also?
You
playing?
wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
You don't have your helmet on.
And I think a lot of it was a distraction thing, which would be against the rules because you're supposed to announce if a player is
Yeah.
which is why there's kind of some hot water.
I'll be honest. I don't know how long I'm gonna have this hat on. It's really hot.
Really?
You want to trade me?
Yeah, it's straight.
I can't. I'm not
That's
allowed to
right.
have the big hats.
The Cinco de Mayo hat, Dan.
Two in the middle.
But you are our Santa.
Oh,
Oh, this is a hot hat.
Wow,
this
this is a lot better.
This thing holds the heat in.
Yeah, this is a lot
I can
better.
feel the heat
Wow.
from your head.
Anyway, so Jordan, man, there was a lot of fucking monsters.
You look fantastic.
Do I?
You might need to angle it up a little bit though, because your face is out of view. But you look like
now you look like you work out on the farm, like
Cinco de
kinda
Mayo.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
but we
not
can't-
quite the same.
Just angle it up a
anymore.
little bit so we can see your face.
No, I like it.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm
it's good
dark right
TV.
now. It is good TV, isn't it?
um,
A lot of like lopsided matchups this week. Then we had Dalt versus defeated.
Dalton
Or
versus defeated.
157 from Dalt, best week of the year for him, and most
Logan
points
is
of the
having
week.
Logan is having a adult of 2021.
Yeah, he is.
He's trying. He's trying.
And the craziest part is, I think Dalt has 8 more points per game on average. I think Logan's is like 128. He said, versus like Dalt was like 130.
He was like
something.
140, I think.
Yeah, that shows you how
Yeah.
bad that year was for Dalt. But Logan's
Well,
rivaling.
Logan,
that
if
a
you
little
see the
bit.
points against, Logan's pretty high up there. He's at
Well, he said-
894 points against.
He said he's averaging 128.
The next,
I think
the
it's
next
like
highest is Brad at 825, and then nobody else is even in the 800s. And
Oh, I'm not. I know
Logan's
he's
already
gotten,
almost
I
900.
know he's gotten screwed over a lot. So
Well, I think it like what stands out to me is when you have like the team always has like their best week against you. It doesn't even
Yeah.
necessarily matter like the number because the number's fluid and it changes every
Yeah.
year. But like they're like
Well, to put it in perspective,
Dalton.
he has 200 points more scored against than you have against you. But he's also got like 50. He's got over 50 more points against him than you have, and you're the highest scorer in the league.
wow.
was it for the whole year? It was 130 for
Yeah.
Dalt.
Like I
Dalton.
really think it was 140.
Dalton was great.
Yeah, it's just unreal.
Yeah, I guess it was for the full year, Logan.
It's in our
Um,
stats.
Yeah, we'll have to
I
look
think.
at the stats, but
I don't remember if it was for a full year or not.
You know,
I
it
know
was.
really. I
It
think a
was.
lot of it was tilted by there were a couple like 180s against
but
him.
we're taking away from Dalt. He had a hell of a week,
Yeah.
so kudos to him. What? Oh, it was Kelsey, 30, AJ Brown, 25,
Yeah, it just kept happening.
Waller,
Foreman, 30.
having
Waller.
two tight ends, it's a good thing to have two
Yeah.
tight ends
And
on,
then if
on
you have
National
the
Tight
Tight
Ends
end
Day.
day, yeah.
And then the Bears
That's
running
why it
back.
happened. National Tight Ends Day, he started two tight ends. He drops 157.
I'll tell you, it was Foreman, 31.
The Foreman one was interesting.
Most points against average 2020 141.11.
Jesus, it was 141. That's crazy. I don't think that'll ever happen again.
No, there's
Now
no
I will
chance.
say, Logan, you
Nobody
did,
will ever average 141.
Logan, you used up your luck. Lowest points against average 2019. Logan 96.
Damn, that's crazy too.
No one will. Yeah, there's no. I don't think anyone will even like
No,
the best team will even average 141 ever.
No.
I mean, yeah, it's
It's tough to do.
impossible.
You have to get really unlucky a lot of times.
It is impossible.
I don't know how he is still in the league. I would have quit. I don't think I could handle it.
I think that was his first year too.
It
No,
was. I think it was. 'Cause we were
No,
like,
no, because
well,
the year before he was really good.
Was it?
He was in 2019.
I thought the
No,
first
he
year
wasn't.
then he
Yeah,
got-
first year 2-10, and then he bounced back.
Yeah.
No, he was
That
in 2019.
No.
Then that's supposed to be 2021. I'm
The record
positive
is
on this.
2-10. Like it
And-
matches up. His first year was bad.
It don't matter. He had a bad year.
I swore maybe
may
I was
have
in a
had a good
different
year,
league
but-
with Dalt or something. I don't know.
Um,
Anyways,
And then our last matchup was Zach sending Kevin to Pin Island.
barely.
Barely.
It was looking
12
like just
points.
a tip for a bit.
-3 from the 49ers defense. That was the difference right
Logan
there.
wants to beat Dalt.
That's his new record goal.
All right, hey, I like it. Does that mean I'm going for a lot of points this week?
Oh yeah. We'll get to
Feeling
that
good?
though.
You feeling good coming out of the win?
Yeah, I really didn't expect Cooper Kupp to be the issue on my team that week. I got really nervous, and
You got
You think that's going to happen
5.9
with Puka?
no,
and he got a 2-point
Not,
conversion.
you know, they all
Yeah.
happen.
no,
Yeah. Do you think it caps his upside a little bit, though?
potentially. Yeah,
I think he's still going to do his thing.
Yeah,
I do
I
wonder.
can see there being down games now where before there wasn't.
Yeah,
I
with
mean, I
the
think there'd be
second
down
option.
games.
I mean, obviously.
I think Pittsburgh has a really, really, really good defense too.
yeah. I mean, he's gonna be the focus.
I mean, obviously he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. But I wonder.
I don't know if that's. I don't think that's obvious. I don't think that. I actually disagree. I don't think he will.
What's your top 5?
I think he'll be a top 10 wide receiver.
What's your top
If
5?
Puka's really good, top 5. Okay, well you got Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown. So there's the big 3. Then I'm just thinking of names on top of my head. Diggs is also one for sure. Adams will probably be.
I think
Keenan
Cooper
Allen
Kupp's-
probably will
I think
be
Cooper
too.
Kupp's above Adams and probably Diggs, honestly.
Oh, and Jefferson, but he's hurt. No, in talent, yes, but I don't think
I would say like production.
if Koopa, or by the way, Nakua is the leading target wide receiver in the NFL. He's a rookie, but he's leading the NFL
Oh
in
yeah,
targets.
yeah, I know.
That's not.
unreal.
I mean, Cooper Kupp can be really good and still get a lot of targets, but he can't get Cooper Kupp targets. Not if Nakua is still doing this, and he's still
find
doing
out.
it.
We'll find out.
I think it's gonna be a flippy floppy.
Kupp will still be a beast, but I don't
game
think-
script. Yeah,
I don't, top 5, obviously.
I can see top 5 being an outlier, but he is right there in that range. I just don't think you can discredit it quite yet because his first 2 games he was still averaging like 120 yards a game already.
Yeah, no, he's good.
But-
Obviously, I mean like points per game, not
Yeah.
including his
If
first.
it's points per game, then you put Jefferson in there.
That's fine. Throw him in.
Okay, Jefferson, Chase,
I like
Hill.
what you're saying. I agree with you.
Diggs. Saying Diggs isn't, by the way, it's crazy. You see
I think
Diggs?
Kupp has a chance to
You seen what Diggs has
outscore
done this year?
Chase.
Oh, I don't think so. Chase is the second
Well-
second highest. He's the most per game in targets.
Logan said people were afraid for Puka when Cup came back, but no one is worried about Cup now that Puka is here. I don't think Cup will be the same. Puka will outscore him.
Ooh.
That sounds like a Puka
It's
owner.
interesting.
All right, all right. I like it.
It is
a good
interesting.
debate.
Will Puka outscore him? That's a
Yeah.
good question.
That's, I guess, really where the
Actually,
conversation
out of
should
curiosity,
stay.
is he outscoring him?
No, I don't think on the first 3 weeks, but Puka did drop a touchdown.
Oh, I bet
in
it's
1 week.
really close. If it's not, where the fuck did Cup go?
I got Puka. He was
Okay.
6. Wow, that is kind of
So
close.
15?
16, 4, and 19.
Okay, 15, 25, and 5.
So
Wow.
he pretty much, it's going to
That's
exist.
interesting.
They're going to like tie, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Target wise, 11.
Big
Sorry.
hats can't come over to the screen.
Target wise, he's getting more. He had 1 less the first week, 2, or he had 1 more the first week. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Puka,
close.
we will be doing mid-season awards next week. We wanted
Yes.
to catch up on 2 weeks.
And
then
Puka
do the
will not be in it.
mid-season.
That was a terrible.
Puka may be on that pod.
No,
with
I
an
have nothing to
award.
say
He
about
should be
that.
on my team, and then I fucked up and.
Yeah, we're going to talk
showed
about the
away.
collusion and the issue that happened.
Well, it was self-inflicted a little bit. He colluded with himself.
Yes, I was gonna get him.
Wow. What could your season be with Puka? We're not going to go down that road. Never
Yeah,
mind.
we're not gonna go down
Actually, I don't think it'd be much better.
I maybe be 2 and 4. They're 2 and 4.
You want to show the standings real quick? Just to kind
Standings!
of have it, and then we'll see where we're at. So, I mean, everybody knows, but...
There they are. Boom.
So,
Boom.
and read through it.
I will
Talk
say-
about it.
You got.
We're going to get there, but we got Robin in second place now. The man started out 0-2.
Yeah, you're skipping yourself.
It was 1-1. We talked about this for the pod. It was
No.
1-1.
That
No,
was Dalton.
Robin was 0-2.
Robin's 0-2. He's on a 5-game win streak.
Yes.
Yes.
Zach, 6 and
I
1.
wasn't worried about myself.
Good
I'm
job.
talking about the hot take.
Mike, 5 and 2. I'm actually surprised that that you have a tied record with Robin. He's got you on the points pretty covered.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's 3 points, isn't it?
Oh, I thought you. It's not the
Yeah,
750.
it's close. But
It's far away.
Mike had some
But
really
still,
low
he covered.
scoring games 2 weeks in a row.
I just can't believe it. Now, wow, Jordan has 4 points. Than
Does anyone understand Jordan's name?
Jimmy.
No, yeah.
It's a Kyron Williams like meme.
That's what I thought at first. But does he
Jiminy
have Kyron Williams?
Kyron. No, but
What?
I think he just liked the name.
Jiminy Kyron?
Oh.
Jiminy Kyron.
Bro,
Kyron
it's
is.
what the fuck?
I hear when you say it, but I can't say what
Jiminy
it is.
Cricket.
You have to have Kyron Williams in your team to make that at least most people understand it. Maybe
Well, he did it when like
he didn't even have him when he did it.
but gosh, Kevin was naming his team Kyron Williams stuff, and I thought it was part of it, but he stuck with it, so I was confused this whole time.
What do you think of Kevin's new name, by the way? What do you?
I'm not a fan of
You
it.
don't like that?
I don't
No.
get it. Is that a caterpillar?
Caterpillar
He
dog.
wants
That's
the
what he calls the injury bug. Is the
bug
caterpillar.
to all.
He'll say the caterpillar's going around. And then you got
Logan
double
updated his
dog.
team name to beaten down and defeated.
Wow, it's gotten worse. Things have gotten worse.
Things escalated.
He's over there pouring another shot.
All right, so Mike, you're third. Jordan is fourth. Kevin is
Caterpillar.
fifth. Also 4-3. You or Jordan and Kevin are 4-3. Dalt was also 4-3.
Man, it's heating up.
Sixth. Then
That's
you
the
got
line. That's the
Brad.
playoff line.
Brad at 3-4. This is the playoff lineup. Brad is 3-4. He's had a couple really bad weeks in a row. He'll probably bounce back. The Mothman bounces back.
Like, he needs a double
he's eight.
bounce.
I was just texting him for a while, man.
Then you got now his new name is beaten down and defeated. Logan. He is
It's Jiminy Christmas.
He's got over 100 points more than me.
Don't get
in
the
ten.
Jiminy.
Like
Also
Jiminy Cricket?
Yeah, but what's Christmas have to do with that?
I don't know.
Who says
It's
that?
Jiminy-
Because that's when you say it. I want to say like Jiminy.
It's like a
Cricket.
G. Willikers.
G. Willikers.
You know, like who says
Yeah.
G.
No,
Willikers?
I get it, but like why? Like it's like if I named my team like Burrow Your Chubb in my ass. Like I don't have any of those fucking. I don't.
But you did have Chubb.
Right, but I don't have them anymore. Like it's like if I just now
But
change it to that.
Chubb did go in your ass.
Oh, of course,
it's
you
still
picked the
in
name.
there.
You picked the name
Yeah.
of Chow. That was unfortunate.
I'm still
but-
taking that fucking.
I know what you mean. It's funny.
Uh,
I don't think there's any
I
rhyme
like
or
it.
reason. for
I just
it
want to know the
fucking
reason.
around.
I just want to know the reason.
I want to know the reason too. That's
Yeah,
why
now I
I'm
know.
calling him out.
But that's the
disappointed.
current state of affairs.
That is where we stand.
Well, it was a good podcast.
Yeah, that's fun.
That was fun. 2
What's
weeks
next?
recap. We'll do a couple waivers because they're more relevant, and then we'll get into these trades. I think we can talk about one
I'm excited
trade
for
quite
this.
a bit. So, last week's waivers, we had a
Shaheed?
Rashid
Rashid Rice.
Rice for $22.
That's your guy.
Yeah, I went out and bought him.
$22. It's not a bad pickup now I look back on it.
You agree a little bit
Make
now?
this not-
Ah,
No, no one does. I wanted to spend.
I mean, you got your guy though. I mean, at the end of the day, you got
Yeah.
your guy. I was surprised it was you because you had so much wealth at the
I just feel so goofy in my ass.
because you had so much.
Hey,
depth.
Robin's in here.
Robino.
I'm sorry, I wasn't like you said. You surprised it was me because I have so much depth.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
he
you-
picked up Rashid Rice.
for 22. I was
What'd you
a big
think of
spender.
that? I was surprised it was him. I wasn't surprised at the price, but I was surprised it was Zach because I feel like Zach has depth on wide
Is
receivers.
this last week?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going through
back,
it real
back.
quick.
Can I even get to it? Wait.
You gotta scroll for a hot second.
Here we go.
That chat is popping, you know.
Well, was it here? Here it is. Rashid Rice, $22. What was the next highest?
Yeah, we don't want to get into that.
5 for Dalt. Jordan updated his team name. What did he update it to? Somebody tell me.
Diggs.
Oh, that's a good reaction. I gotta-
Diggs my Chubb in your cup. Oh, that's funny. Jordan just has these like little like things that he does and it's just fucking hilarious.
Makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Makes you chuckle.
But yeah. I mean it looks good for the Rashid Rice pickup though now. I mean, we'll see.
I believed, but yeah, you know, it's always hard when you see
He broke his new record for snap percentage. He got to
overspend.
59.
Woohoo! That's all you
I
need.
mean, it's got to be just like a bye week replacement, right?
He
Just
just-
got him.
He might keep
Right,
I just
going
didn't
up.
want you to have him.
You're
I
hoping.
didn't want him.
You're hoping that.
I didn't even put a bid in for that motherfucker.
You're hoping that Rice gets better, or like keeps going up because
Yeah.
right now he's a touchdown dependent guy still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's always good to have depth. So
Zach Evans went for 8. That didn't work.
that
out.
was disappointing.
I'm glad I
It was
spent
such a good
22.
waiver too.
He barely got it too. Yeah, those are
It
always.
was a low buy.
I know, the low buy, it just didn't work out, but sometimes you just gotta cut your
And you
losses.
dropped
Last week's waivers were
Ricardo
terrible.
for him. That guy was also another
I ain't
$8.
touching Team Ricardo.
Last week's waivers were bad.
Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah.
They were
Let's go to
bad.
this week's. Or are we staying one
Well,
last week?
Well,
You want to talk about the other ones because
on.
there's no other interesting.
I thought there
papers
was
here.
something that was fun.
No.
I picked up. I've been busy on the waivers.
You have. You're working them. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, that's all he's got.
That's all I got.
All right, so for this week, for waivers now, it's always we're doing 2 weeks.
This week's not very fun either, though.
No, it's not.
It was just, it was a tight end week. We had tight ends on tight ends.
Logan changed his name to God Let Me Win, but Let Me is in brackets, so it's God Win. Then there's Let Me in them.
Do you get it? Because he has God.
Does he have God Win?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's clever.
nice.
Man.
Henderson. Yeah, Henderson was a pickup. Oh yeah, Logan picked up Henderson for
Yeah,
nothing.
Thank you. Someone rushed me.
Yeah, Henderson.
I don't think it was on the main
It wasn't on the
waivers,
main one. Then it
yeah.
was later on.
But he went through on Friday. Like,
Yeah. He
that's a
snuck
good
in
snag. I would rather have that one than Zach Evans.
there. Yeah, really.
Me too.
I think that's why he chose to get Anderson.
Just to pull the curtain back a little bit.
Well, you spent 21 on Kincaid. You also spent $7 on Dalton Schultz.
Mhm.
We'll get back to that on you.
Okay.
You also put a bid in for Taysom Hill, who went to Jordan for $5.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
bid
had
$30.
Coleman with $1 on Jake Ferguson.
Right.
Will, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me have it. Let me have it.
The tight end thing.
The tight end.
Yeah.
The reason I even brought it up, it really wasn't. The Schultz for 7. I was surprised. Obviously nobody else also like wanted.
I'm surprised
But-
by that.
But that wasn't like a big deal to me because 7 is 7. The reason I brought it up at all was because I was under the assumption that you meant to like put the same drop player for both, thinking
Yeah, I
you
knew
get
you did.
one. So I was like, all right, he'll admit it if I bring it up, but you didn't. So then I found out you actually were purposely trying to do that.
Yeah, I purposely did because I wanted either Taysom Hill or Dalton Kincaid, and then Schultz is the backup. But I thought Taysom Hill would go for less.
I'd actually rather have Taysom than Schultz. I think.
Yeah, I was shocked you didn't go more
Well, I think
on Taysom.
I think Schultz is the safer play. I think Kincaid and
So that's what I was about to break down. You view Schultz as like that safe tight end and
yeah, I thought he
a
had throw
touchdown.
man, and he's like,
Yeah.
a touchdown
But
defender.
safe is. I mean, honestly, I feel like
But
Hill is more safe because he's getting more better.
With Hill's track record,
It
though,
doesn't
you
stay
just
consistent.
never know
Yeah.
what the dude's gonna do.
Honestly,
I gotta believe
They're
Schultz,
both
Yeah.
streamers.
Yeah, they're both streamers.
They
but-
all are, honestly. I mean, we still got to
Yeah.
see it from
Kincaid's
but
probably not.
well, if Knox is only out for 2 weeks, then is the value?
Yeah, that's
there.
why I went for
Yeah.
Schultz too, because I didn't know if Knox
Yeah.
would come back. I just was surprised that. Honestly, I was really surprised Coleman didn't go harder after him.
Well, that's I almost actually I didn't want to do like the spill something, but I almost texted something like we're about to see a tight end bidding war. Like I almost
Yeah.
texted in the night before because I really thought because there's a couple people that have
Well, I did too.
there's a ton of people that have tight end buys next week too. I was looking at it. I think there's like 3 or 4 people that have a tight end buy next week. Then yeah, I really thought Coleman was going to maybe jump ship, but Coleman got Ferguson.
Ferguson's good.
who's
Yeah,
been
he's solid too. I mean, he's probably the same as Schultz, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, at one point Robin kept Ferguson and traded away Kittle, so and then eventually traded him away or dropped him. So
no, yeah, that was the
Big up SureFire Fantasy. Who's Scooby?
Scooby.
What's up, Scooby?
Scooby Dooby Doo.
Scooby Dooby
Thank
Doo.
you.
we do.
But yeah,
Wait,
that
how
was
are you?
the thought process behind that.
So
So,
like a Scooby Doo villain.
but Taysom Hill was
Someone
a
offer you a
huge
bad
pickup.
Yeah, Coleman.
Coleman! The fuck, man? He's probably doing it for the pod.
For the pod.
For the pod. All right, boys.
I do like to pick up for Taysom Hill by Jordan though, especially with his.
I think Jordan's
structure.
always the guy that gets Taysom Hill.
Yeah, he picks up interesting players. Like he's got Kareem Hunt, right?
Yeah, he got him at the
So
early.
like Jordan will do these like minor pickups, and they'll like in a week or two pan out. Well,
Big
in this
time.
case, Taysom will pan out next week.
Yeah, but he does have Evan Ingram, which, he's
It's
solid.
Justin. What's up, Justin? We were just watching you at your pod.
Coleman said, "I would rather have Ferguson. Bill's tight ends are so hit or miss. I mean, that's pretty obvious with your bid. But
I mean, I can agree with it.
I mean, but here's the thing: Knox is gone. We're gonna see Kincaid's, potential here. He's a
Yeah.
rookie, so we'll see what happens. So.
Also, I did these awesome names. Nicknames.
Oh yeah, you did.
No one cares about your nickname.
Hey!
Ouchie.
So.
Oh,
that was
and
fun.
you put some
But-
players on the trade block.
I did.
Oh yeah, you got Jerry Judy, Michael Thomas.
News. Yeah.
News. Chris
Did you-
Olave, my girl said drive fast. I'm ready.
Did I drop Trey Judy?
Ouchie. No, we traded.
I don't know.
Oh. That's the only league I don't have him in.
Was
Now.
there any other waivers though? Is that it?
That was-
Is it just
Uh,
defenses
nothing
and
else
shit?
interesting.
Well, you did. We had a
I got-
Cam Akers. He got D. Ricardo.
Cam Akers was a big
Rashid
pickup.
For
Shaheed.
zero.
And then Tank Dell. You went out and got Tank. You were very active, but you had like bye weeks before.
I really, really like the Kendrick Bourne pickup that Robin got.
Did he get him again? He had him earlier.
I actually swore I had a
He's
bid on
back.
him. I'm
I think you
confused. I didn't.
No.
In every other league I did. I must have forgot.
Huh.
I just feel like he's another one of those guys like you have the confidence in starting with Bourne, but that's what waivers are, right? I mean,
You take a shot.
I hope it does.
Take a shot.
Yeah.
Take a shot.
Take a shot. Oh!
All right.
We did have in our
Speaking of
week
shots.
recaps, we had 2 losers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we had 2 losers. We had.
Remember,
Logan.
I know we took a break, but from the week before we took our break,
Week 6.
Brad sent his video in for being the lowest scoring team. Well, this week we had 2 people be the lowest scoring team for the last 2 weeks,
Yep.
and they happened to be together one
And here are
day.
their beautiful faces.
And Mike hooked us up with a nice little video for us. Congratulations to
we
our losers.
we appreciate the contribution.
We do.
Or shout out someone. Say shout out.
Oh wait.
Shout out JJ.
Oh.
R.I.P.
He said, "Shout out JJ RIP." I didn't.
This is clean.
Alright, fantasy football sucks. Cheers.
Now, let's really dive into this.
Yeah, let's get,
shotgun.
okay.
Let's dive into this. So let's
Look
look
at
at
the
the
game film.
form. So first we have the setup. You're building it up. You have
So you were there. So did they work on the in their like? Did they take some time with their holes?
So usually there's usually a little bit of substance in these things.
Okay.
We'll put a little pre-workout
Right.
in it. In this scenario,
Walker.
there wasn't. Chris Walker.
But Paul Walker works better because you'd be dead after you
Oh,
take.
yeah.
But you can tell there's no pre-workout in this video because it's not bubbling up. So
You can tell.
and you see there he's got it in a good position. You see Brad, he's got a good position too.
He's got his
You want-
fingernails just underneath the thing.
You want it at a 180.
Okay.
At 90, the shit's pouring out. So
You're
go
right.
ahead and-
100 is even worse.
It gets worse. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead and dive
Football
into
sucks.
this thing.
Okay.
Cheers.
So pause it again. You see they're getting ready to crack the thing.
Yeah, I think
And
the-
they're-
I think someone already is a pre-cracker though.
so Brad's a one finger cracker. You see this right here? He's got one finger on
He
the
got the
can.
one finger.
But Logan's got his whole thing down.
He's putting the mitt down.
Yeah.
And then he's cracking that thing back. So let's go ahead.
Here we go.
And then you
The
just
tilt. The tilt Who wins the tilt is the question. Because I think not Coleman. I think Logan's got more of a tilt than Brad. But
I
Brad
think
is
we have a
on level floor.
Yeah, we have a bad angle of Brad here. I think it's a solid tilt.
Cameraman
But
could
I
have
will
done
say Logan's is back a little further.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, but I think they're both solid.
Oh, but there's
got
more
it,
spillage.
right?
yeah. And watch the ending. Look at the beard.
Oh, with the
Oh, Brad did a little tilter at the end.
Yep. So I overall
And then
clean.
But I will say,
shotguns.
Brad's chugged. Brad's shotgun. I think Brad's due in 2 weeks to do
He needs
something
a beer
else.
stick.
Yeah.
Look at this chipmunk face and then happy guy. Now let's just get one quick little thing that Logan said, just which we don't appreciate.
Alright, fantasy football sucks.
We don't condone that. We don't condone that.
Now, if it sucked, why are you shotgunning? a
Did
beer
he say
for our
no?
podcast?
I heard.
But I will say these are clean shotguns back there.
Pretty
Like,
quick.
it's good for
And it was very fast.
very quick, very quick. But back to what you were gonna say. So
I heard I suck at fantasy. Not fantasy football sucks.
is that what he said?
Oh no, he said fantasy football sucks.
Oh.
But we
Right? He definitely did.
Alright, fantasy football sucks. Cheers.
Fantasy football
All right.
sucks.
Hey, you get that
You
mixed
take
up.
that back.
I got that mixed up. I'm sorry.
We appreciate the contribution, boys. That was fun.
Yeah.
Brad losing 2 weeks. Did Brad lose 2 weeks in a row, or is it a week
No.
and then
Yeah,
a space?
It was
It was in
week,
between.
then Logan, then
Yeah.
Brad. They just happen to be in the same place
Yeah.
and wanted to
So Brad-
celebrate together.
So Brad lost weeks 6 and 8, or
Yep.
weeks 5 and
5
7.
and 7. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the video. So next week,
Thank
or
you,
this
boys.
week, whoever loses, we expect a video. We don't.
Whatever.
You don't have to, though.
you don't have
It doesn't
to.
have to be
and also-
it don't have to be alcohol either.
It doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be a drinking thing. You can just do something.
If you want to do a chip,
Just do something crazy. Don't do
we
the
would.
chip.
That'd be funny.
That'd be more of losing the league.
You gotta. That's a long video you gotta send. We need like a every hour update.
If I could choose to do the chip or the golfing and women's clothing, I would easily choose the golfing and women's clothing.
Alright.
Well,
All right.
don't outright say that.
All
You're
right.
playing for 9th. All
Right.
right, let's dive into. We had no trades this week, unfortunately, but we did have one pretty major trade last week and then one nothing trade. So I'm gonna start with the nothing trade.
Bro, are you all right?
Did you have a Paul Walker?
No, this is my second one.
We had Robin received Kyle Pitts and Kevin received Warren.
This is last week.
I think you got it reversed. Robin received Kyle Pitts, right? Is that what you said?
That's what I said. What's
I'm
wrong
not-
with you guys? How many white claws y'all having? God.
We're in goofy hats.
Yeah,
So
this is
we say
Halloween
goofy
episode.
stuff?
Come on, Saint Nick.
So to dig into the trade, I think it's a very minor.
We're gonna dig in.
This is not a
To be
trade
honest with you,
worth digging into.
I think it makes sense for Robin to
Yeah.
get Kyle Pitts.
He got his
honestly.
starting tight end.
It's
out of
working.
that.
Pitts is looking better.
Yeah.
Or not Logan.
Jalen Warren is not
Caleb
really.
Ward took, I don't have it. I should have it.
I mean,
Jalen Warren is not really.
the only thing you're
He
hoping
might be
for,
taking over the role over
but
Najee.
you would
But
need a
Najee actually looks
Najee.
pretty good last week.
You would need a Najee injury to, I think, have.
And Najee's going to be
more
the goal line guy. Maybe not like the 10-yard, but the goal line guy. What I noticed, I watched that last game because I have Najee, and he got a touchdown. But in a different league. Sorry.
Yeah.
But Najee or Warren gets the he's the running back every third down. Doesn't matter where they are, what the yardage is.
Always
He's the
third
third.
down.
He's the third down running back, and then Najee's the other two. But Najee will be the goal line guy. And Najee did look good that game, which first time all year. So
did. I will say Warren's good for seven.
They're gonna
8
be a
points, but I don't think Kevin had any use for Pitts. He went out and picked him up, and he did exactly
Yeah,
what he
it's
wanted.
just to
He got a
stick
better
itself
than a waiver player
Yeah.
with Warren. There's at least upside there.
Little
So I can see why
David
Kevin went
Devil's
that way.
lettuce for me. Oh, there you go. You guys gotta be a lot of
Couldn't
Devil's
wish to
lettuce.
have done a better
Gotta
shotgun
chew
with
it.
anyone else.
He was straight up.
But we'll tell people it's vape.
Thank
We're in
God.
Indiana. Oh no, you're not in Indiana. Where's he?
Probably
in
somewhere where there's a lot more
Ah, illegal.
No,
Virginia.
I don't think it is.
Then it's legal.
That's
He's
where
in
Washington-
Cali.
California.
All right, the big trade. I think the league is very split. We would really like to hear from the chat on this one. We had a love it for love it trade, and it was a big one. We even have a week under our belt, so I feel like there's some information to go with it. But I think in the initial reactions were very split on this. We had Mike receiving Hunter Henry, who he has since dropped, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, and Kenneth Walker. Brad received Kittle, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, and Mixon. Why does it matter what your hair looks like?
I'm not. I'm itching my head. I'm looking at the trade.
You hit your head in a very beautiful way.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah. You don't need to look at it. You drug Mike.
This was a week ago though. I'd forget. I
This was
don't.
a week ago, so my main intent. I'll just tell my perspective real quick.
Mike, you got Henry, Higgins, Walker, and Flowers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I want to give. Well, I guess you say yours.
Mike should give his
Yeah.
intent first.
So my main intent in this trade was to get Ken Walker.
Yeah.
And I looked at that as a major upgrade over Mixon. I look at Mixon as a tier 2 running back, and then Walker's a tier 1. I look at DJ Moore and T. Higgins. I know DJ Moore's been popping off, but he has the quarterback question mark to me. And I mean, we don't
Was that
know.
already, or is that now due to the injury?
Due to the injury. If we're honest, too, I think DJ Moore was riding really high.
Yeah.
So I bought low on T. Higgins.
Sold high.
Well, I bought T. Higgins low.
You bought low on Higgins. You sold high on.
high on DJ Moore.
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Well, I'm saying my
I
perspective
no,
real
actually,
quick.
I understand what
Yeah.
you mean. Is what I'm saying. I understand what you're meaning.
Yeah.
I believe the other way around. But I understand
gotcha,
what you mean
gotcha.
because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so that's that, and I look at them as both wide receiver 2s at rest of the season, and I think T. Higgins figures it out, and then I think Zay
He's the
Flowers
athlete.
for Marquise Brown. I think that's a push
I like Mark.
in my eyes because I think Zay Flowers is solidifying the wide receiver 1
Yes.
role there, and then obviously I have to throw in a kicker with Kittle to get the deal done.
That's where it's like because
But
I don't love it already with all that, and then the Kittle part is where I'm like,
That's a
that's a
big,
huge piece.
big kicker.
But you gotta have the kicker with it.
But it's a real. He's
Is
one of the
it,
best
though?
players in this trade. Yeah, because he's a tight end.
I know, but tight
He's
ends are
playing pretty well.
very. I mean, what did he get this week? He had one blow up week.
I think he did pretty good.
Let's
I think. Wait.
He had a non-touchdown game, so he got like right at 10.
Yeah, he had 9. Oh wait, that was projection. Last week. Oh, I guess he
You were
had
just there, yeah.
He had
I mean, obviously, Kittle's gonna have better days. But
he had 10.5. As a
So, I
tight
mean,
end, that's
obviously-
better.
You got Debo out.
Yeah, you got Debo out. You got
So
pretty looking booty.
We talked about the mouths to feed and things like that. So, but I do think that's where this trade gets interesting, and what it really comes down to is where do people stand with Mixon, because Mixon is a solid start. He's getting you those 9-10 points, but you're upset with him for some reason, and you're a Mixon supporter, but like
I'm finding that that's common in a lot of leagues.
yeah.
But Mixon is actually, he's been all right. He's not even been that bad. And if you look at his snap percentage,
Let me ask you
where
this.
it's
Let me ask you this. If that was Alexander Madison in the trade, would you think I'd want it
No. Wait.
instead of Mixon? Say I had Alexander Madison,
Yes.
and you put Mixon in it.
oh.
Or
But-
you reverse
so you're
it.
going to compare
Yeah.
their scoring.
There is a similar
Versus the-
volume right
this-
now.
But
They're
there's
on
a different
similar-
situation though, because
But
Mixon,
they weren't
right.
though.
But the difference for me, and that's where where Will's going to say is you're upset with what Mixon's producing, but Mixon is the only person there, and then you also have the issue where Burrow isn't performing. So when
Right.
Mixon's getting that much work, like you want to stay bought in with that. I completely get the sell, and where it just sticks for me is the Kittle aspect. When I first saw the trade, I was very against what you did, but then I remembered it was right when Fields had just gotten announced to be out beyond the game he went out in. So I felt that took DJ Moore down, and I viewed it as a very fair trade. Marquise Brown now seeing the 2 weeks.
Well, this was prior to Kyler, too.
Right, and then the potential of Kyler, it seemed like maybe you gave up Marquise Brown too much.
Oh, yeah.
I think where everyone stands is just that Kittle, Henry, especially because that was kind of the one weak point on your team. But was Walker enough to buy that much in for? Because Walker has a similar kind of mix in. He almost needs that touchdown to I agree. Have the game.
I think with Walker though, you get more upside.
I don't think so. I think
If you've seen Mixon for the last 2 years, you'll know that what he does is 4 yards and that's it. And then
I saw
every
him
once
score
in a while,
50 points in one game.
55.
but that's 1 week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest outlier.
If
in
you
the world.
if you were to go, what matters is fantasy football finishes. If you were to go to Mixon and look at his every single year where he finishes, he's a running back 1 every single year.
I know, but
and his snap
what's
percentage
the road
is
to get there?
his snap percentages is rare. The road right now for Mixon is he's never a bad start. He always gets you 9. It's just the
but
road.
My thing is
the team's
with,
getting better.
with my team
he gets snap
structure. Though,
percentage.
I'd rather take the upside with Walker and
That's
because I have James
a good
Conner
point.
coming in, who's
Yeah.
Mixon pretty much
Yeah.
to me.
yeah.
And that's the key too, is it's
Yeah.
how you view your team and where you're at. And then you also have kind of a committee of mid wide receivers. So
Yeah.
now you have plentiful of options to choose from.
Well, you had DJ Moore.
Kept
Dude, I'm telling.
I
don't know though. It's
I believe in
it
DJ.
is hard though.
The talent is just
I
you
heard-
can't not do good.
I mean, Coleman said top 5, and he is looking like the man still catches a ball like 2 yards and then takes it all the
Oh,
way.
he's good.
Even with
good.
Tyson Bagent as quarterback.
Yeah, he almost had a couple touchdowns that game too. So
But I think at the end of the day, I don't get the trade done without Kittle. And
I
obviously, I have to
agree.
give up that
yeah,
to get that done. But
it's a fair trade. I think that's it. It's
You
a
got
choice.
I'm not a Kittle.
Kincaid today to kind of replace him, and hopefully that works out.
I'm
with
not
the
a
injury.
Kittle guy either.
And that's
to be
the thing. It was
honest. I
kind of
hate the
funny
boom
that
bust.
you went and did it, and then
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
You want him in the playoffs. Let me tell you that.
He is always
I
a
know.
sell piece, but it's
He
kind
is
of funny
always
that
a
he
sell piece.
keeps getting sold at like his low.
He is
you
like
know.
the trade. He's always
Yeah.
traded this guy.
He's a DK.
Any other trades? No.
No, that was it. I do want to revisit one that happened during the pod and then has come to super fruition within the last 2 weeks. Is we had Addison and Debo go for Amari Cooper and Pickens, and I know we touched on it a little bit, saying it was the most fair, even
I feel like it still is.
situation. I just wanted to break it down because you got Debo injured, you have Addison potentially emerging, you have Cooper with maybe a backup QB who went off week 1, not so much week 2, and then you have Pickens who is now going back to the wide receiver.
No,
Two
he
roll.
is the one.
2 roll. I'm going
Pickens looks
depth
better
chart. Yes.
with Deontay in the game than
I'm going depth chart.
I had a league where
yeah.
I started both of them, and it was they
they play
were
last-
great.
Who did the Steelers play?
They won, whoever they played.
Dalt.
Dole! I'll pop it up. Hold on. They played the... Who's got a Steeler on their team? Dalt does.
Najee. Was
Dalton-
it
They
Houston?
played the Rams.
Oh, yeah. That game was rough to watch.
Was it?
Yeah.
Damn.
How do I?
That's
Here,
tough.
here we go. Yeah, but if you look, so Pickens had 13 and Deontay had 10. I mean, they both, and Pickens still was out targeted him. I just think Pickens might benefit from having a little bit less focus on him.
Bros think Mixon is CMC. I don't know which SureFire this is. I'm assuming it's a Jordan.
It's Jordan. I don't think Mixon is CMC, but I think Jordan's all trying to defend because Jordan in a different league happened to trade Kareem Hunt for CMC and acted like it was a completely fair trade. No, sorry.
Oh God!
He happened to trade Kareem Hunt.
I would quit the league.
Jordan gave up Kareem Hunt and got Joe Mixon straight up and acted like it was a pretty fair trade. But yeah,
That's crazy.
It's very fair trade.
yeah, okay. Anyways, moving on.
That's it. That is it on trades. We are very weak,
Rankings
but
time, right?
I just wanted to touch base on that. We have rankings. We have matchups. We don't have much juice for this week. We didn't mix it up very much.
Oh, I think it's good. We're doing good. It's a good pod so far. I'm enjoying it.
Pretty
The
good.
people are enjoying it, right, people?
People!
The people are loving it.
Plus
Plus,
a live audience.
plus we're 47 minutes in, so it's not been short.
That's right.
Oh, nobody did a game. Oh, hold on.
Oh, we're gonna do a game on the fly here. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
I'm just gonna pick
All right, I'm gonna start with rankings. You gonna do it? Yeah, you're not gonna do it that quick.
Yeah, you
All
got
right,
it.
coming in at number 10, first win of the year, taking down our longest consecutive number 1, Will.
No, it's Cowboy. In fact, I'm changing my
It's
name.
Cowboy Will.
So you're changing your name now to just Cowboy.
Let's take a gander at this
It's
team.
Cowboy.
Cowboy.
We'll take a gander at it in a minute.
After
What's up, dog?
we got a live rename.
So now we're Cowboy.
Cowboy. There's the team.
Ninth
All right,
place
let's take a
Cowboy.
gander at it.
Second gander.
How do you
Well,
feel about your team, Will? Let's start there. You feel like I feel like you're in a better spot for sure.
you're getting closer to your injury guys returning.
Mhm.
You got a win under your
The
belt.
injured guys all just actually kind of just got injured.
Hey, Chance.
We were just talking that like a couple of weeks down. You know,
Eventually, I will get better. But
Herbert,
Yeah.
you got
Herbert,
2 weeks.
that's 2 weeks and 2 weeks. And I think Achan has a bye in between there too. So it's actually 4 weeks until Achan comes back.
That's good. Super healthy.
He will be healthy.
Herbert, he's got a bye. He'll probably come back, but he's not a big one.
Fields is the
needs
one
to
you
come
need
back.
though, because
Yeah.
your starting lineup is definitely serviceable.
Pacheco, love him.
Checo's been good.
He's been great.
Kirk
Kirk's been great.
has been
I
fantastic.
think he needs to be highlighted more.
He's a
and
wide
more.
receiver 17.
Yeah.
And his first week he got 1 point. So
I
I
couldn't
mean,
get anyone to trade me for him.
Yeah,
early
it's just-
on.
I was so happy when you
Yeah.
offered him. And then McLaurin has also been really good.
Yeah.
Like
You have solid wide receiver 2s on your team,
Yeah.
and then you have Pacheco who's solid, and then you have Goddard who's been performing.
Stevenson
Very
actually has
well.
been okay the last 2 weeks.
I think
finally.
Stevenson can only get better.
If that team
I mean,
keeps
yeah.
getting better, maybe.
because the team was so bad. Zeke is going to take away your touchdowns.
And then
The-
you got. I'm sorry.
But then the issue on your team is Damian Pierce.
Jesus,
I don't know how you.
But he's got Gus Bus.
He
Gus
did.
Edwards, 20 points, bro.
Got him off the waiver. How much did I get
Freaking
him?
dog.
You always love naming out those guys that go up against you. You remember them. You have a long list of those
Yeah.
guys.
I got Goddard from you in a
I'll
trade.
never
He's been
forget
great
it.
since I got him.
I'll never forget playing Robin in the playoffs and Cole Beasley fucking just doing it to me.
I will say my
You'll always
quarterback,
have that memory.
He likes his Bills.
my quarterback situation. I had Anthony Richardson. I had Anthony Richardson and Fields. Fields was going to be the starter. I started in the first 2 weeks. He's terrible, right? I finally switch it to, and Richardson was great. I switch it to Richardson. He gets hurt right away. I switch back to Fields. Fields has. Oh no, wait, I didn't switch back to Fields.
No, you did Richardson in a game where he got hurt. Or
Yes.
no, he was playing terrible,
Yeah.
and then he came
He
back.
actually did okay.
You know, he beat Fields. Fields had
Yes, he did.
27,
He did.
and then like
But
AR went.
it does
off.
not excuse what happened
Yeah.
because then I started Richardson again, and he got hurt, and he was out. So then I went to starting Fields, and Fields got hurt, and he's out. Then I started Purdy. Purdy had a really fucking bad game, and now guess what? Purdy's out. So now I
Yeah.
got to pick up another new quarterback.
I mean, Purdy ain't that big of a loss.
But the fact that I can't even start Purdy.
Yeah. You're the
I
QB
drafted
killer.
2 QBs and had 2 of them on my team for so long, and I still can't keep
You're the
anybody
QB killer at this
Capital.
point.
going. So the quarterback situation sucks. I also lost Chubb. The Wilson thing kind of sucked. Jameer Gibbs. My draft was, if you look at my draft board, it's literally one of the saddest things. It's Chubb,
We'll be getting into that
Wilson,
next week.
Gibbs. Okay, yeah. We'll get it.
We'll
But-
do the draft.
but
and
When you look at my draft board, it's
It's
the worst thing I've
looking
ever seen.
up.
It is looking
Your
Should I have drafted
injuries.
Bateman? When did I do that?
When did I do that?
But seriously, my draft was the worst thing I've ever seen.
But you're coming back. I mean, there was a point where you had a name like defeated and out of it, and now you're Well, you're a cowboy.
Now you're a cowboy.
I'm cowboy. I'm a defeated and motivated cowboy.
You
I
have
promise you.
played for
I
9.
promise you.
Yeah.
Hey, Dalt, what's up? We were just asking for you, Dalt. We
About
needed
your
your help
Steelers.
with some Steeler knowledge. But yeah, I'm still completely defeated in
Nothing
that.
but what would be?
I have switched to my main goal is now getting ninth
You don't want the
or not
punishment.
last.
You just don't want the punishment.
I don't want the punishment, and that's why this is a big week for me. We'll get into that later.
All right, coming in at number 9.
This happens to be my opponent.
is his opponent.
The Cowboys' opponent.
This is the Poo Poo Bowl, Logan.
It's not the poo poo bowl.
This is the poo poo bowl.
You don't think this is the Poo Poo Bowl?
How is it not? This is like my third poo poo bowl of the year, by the way.
The mayor of
That's
Poo
the
Poo
time how the one
Town.
person I beat was Mike.
You're better.
That's how it happens, man. All right, let's get into Logan's team. A very interesting.
I love this.
He is so into this hat. We gave him the wrong hat at the start of the pod.
All right.
I wanted this hat the whole time.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Look, I make it fire hat.
If you look at his team,
He
it's
looks,
not a 1-6 team,
but it is.
It is.
Okay.
So we got Goff, who's solid. I
Sure.
mean, he's a streamer.
Yeah,
Jacobs, he's been underperforming.
very much so.
But you know who's been performing decent? Puka Nacua.
Decent. Yeah, no, that's the win of his team.
Yep.
That's what gave him the Waiver King title.
Exactly. And then we got Saquon.
He's getting back healthy. He looks like a pretty much the pivotal point of that offense.
We got Devontae Smith. He's underperforming.
Very much so.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
That's actually
I'm very
really
shocked.
looking at his stats.
Dalt said
Yeah.
loser is basically out. That is true.
Yeah, this
pretty
is the
much,
winner go home
honestly.
game.
Oh, that's
But-
the point, actually. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, Logan has an outside chance because his team's good, and I don't. But I think mostly we're both playing to not get last here, so that's why it's a big game for us. And Dalt, we did have before you joined in, we talked quite a while about comparing him to your team in 2020 because he's got his points against this year are crazy high,
120
and it
some.
still isn't even that close
not
to
even-
yours.
141.
You had 141 points averaged against you, my guy.
And it was your first year in this league. It's open for conversation, but we believe it was the first year in this league, and we.
I didn't think it was,
around.
but we looked. I mean, we looked at it. It looks like it was your first
Yeah.
year in the league.
Plus.
But
Back to
it's
Logan's team. Laporta looks solid. He's dealing with some lingering injuries, and it doesn't see.
No,
It seems
he got 20 points last week.
Laporta.
Oh, I thought I clicked on it. Never mind. Well, he still got 8. Tight end 3.
He's very
I
solid.
thought a tight end 3 is still not that good, huh? I
mean,
thought I would click on it and it
yeah,
looked better.
yeah. It's
He's got 2
That is
double-digit
crazy,
It's
actually.
consistent.
guys. That's
Yeah.
a tight end 3, man.
6'8", 18-7, 18-5, 8, and he's the tight
Tight
end.
end
Well, you
3.
want Andrews and
Kittle.
Kelsey.
Or Hawk.
Hawk. Wait, why? How's Hawk not top? How's Hawk not?
Hawk's
3?
one.
His first couple weeks.
Wait, how's
I don't
Andrews
know
not?
anymore.
Wait, this guy's scoring more than Andrews right now?
Yeah.
Oh, Andrews missed.
Yeah.
Because Andrew's been good.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. He has Beyonce, who is back and instantly looks good
It was
again.
part of his trade plan. Yeah, giving him his
Part of the
depth.
plan.
He has Godwin, who's like he's like highest or second highest targeted receiver without a touchdown. I think
And-
it's him and Judy.
And he likes him that much he named him after his team after
God,
him.
please let me win.
Please let it happen.
He's been super solid, which I didn't expect from him. So
But the issue is David Montgomery, his other saving draft grace, is dealing with some injuries,
And then he has Kyler Murray, who's been out all year.
and
It's been brutal.
that's been brutal for him. And Call of Duty's about to come out,
Yeah,
so
it'll be tough.
you can't start.
you got
that
until
guy.
November 10th.
Yeah. He's the man's gonna be playing all day. So
Yeah,
matchup to tune
concussion
into.
for Purdy.
Yeah, that's a matchup.
I think it's matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
It is the
probably.
Pooh Bowl.
We got a lot of good matchups again this week. I think every week's a good week.
So, are we on the next?
We are on to 8.
Right. Who's 8?
Number 8 is a guy that we like to call one of our friends.
We like to call him one of our friends, but we don't mean it.
And he has been slipping quite a bit here.
Down 2 positions.
Down 2 positions.
Coleman?
I am looking
Ouch.
for it all over the place here, and I
Don't call
can't
that man
find
out.
it. Oh, it's Brad.
Brad.
Wow. Damn.
Brad is
Brad, who just
3-4.
got done hosting his own podcast, by the way. He's got his own podcast.
The Hub.
Yep, The Hub. Just look up Orioles 70 and you can find it. These guys were
The
guest
Hub.
stars.
The Hub. Tuning in.
Okay, so Brad's team, it's really because in the last 3 weeks his team has been so bad.
Well, it's a combination of things. So
Like his performance has been.
Yeah,
He's got
and
good
his-
players.
I
he
mean,
was, yeah.
It's really been
He's really had.
Well, he had his
terrible weeks.
apocalypse.
He's
week.
had a bad
Right,
3 weeks.
one was the
yeah,
apocalypse, but then
Yeah.
he thought he would get back because look, his team looks so.
But then
good.
he just did the trade, and he didn't have Mixon, and then you have Adams on the down. But I think what the issue is he has been trying to survive for the return of Eckler.
Yeah, and Eckler's
And
been struggling.
Eckler is not.
Weird, he's not questionable though, because he did. They said he tweaked his ankle,
tweaked
but
his
he logged a
ankle.
full practice. So.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at his roster though, I mean,
It looks really good.
it looks solid.
He
though,
didn't have
yeah.
Dallas in
Herbert-
last week. That's
Dallas is
That's a big hit.
Herbert,
for him.
Eckler, Mixon, Adams, all great. Kittle, Moore, Brown, all very good.
His big
He's got
miss
Madison on the bench.
is Madison
He's
now.
got depth.
He has to start Madison at times, and I know he doesn't enjoy that, but like seeing this starting lineup now, it looks solid. I think
He
this,
got Brandon Higgins and has Boyd.
this is what shows, like, I think where his trade with Mike made his team look a little stronger. Obviously,
Yeah, he
you
got
throw
depth with
Kittle in that tight end and a little more depth that helped because I think he was at a point he didn't want to start Madison anymore.
No, and honestly, with Cam Akers coming there
Yeah.
too, they split backfield.
But the thing is
You don't want
Madison,
his ass.
like you said, he's scoring. you know,
Yeah, he
9,
scored like 10.
Yeah, but
I mean, honestly,
He got
he's a
5
plug
last
and
week.
play.
yeah.
So
It
I
was
mean,
against 49ers. Great defense.
His
Great
first carry was
fantasy
19
defense.
yards. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's not a bad bye week replacement.
No.
honestly,
no,
we're
it's not at
talking
all.
about
I'm just
it, yeah.
surprised. His first carry was 19 yards. He got, which was as long as the season. I remember them saying he got 20 more the rest of the game. I'm surprised, and they were winning. I guess Akers must have done a lot of that.
But I think you get Devontae Adams back in the situation he belongs in. Healthy Garoppolo. Team goes up. He has Mixon now as a safe 4. He just needs Eckler. He needs that Herbert Eckler connection to happen some, and I think he's gonna live or die on the Chargers.
His team is solid. It's very solid. I don't.
It
I
was
think
8.
Huh?
It was 8.
It was
Yeah.
8. I think there's a lot of solid teams here now because, funny enough, this is the second time. So wow, this is happening again. This is matchup is the next 2 ranked teams because
Oh, wow.
we got Coleman next and Coleman is 7th.
We do have Coleman at 7. Yes.
Wow.
He
The Mothman.
stayed the same. He was 7 last week, so just right outside the cusp of the playoffs. And
He had the weird Bijan.
yeah, the very weird.
But he had Gibbs.
Him and Jordan looked like they were going to have a really solid matchup, and it started with that Thursday night game, and then Gibbs performing. but-
Oh,
yeah, but
I remember that. I didn't realize he didn't play much, Dalt. That Fred Warner smacked Madison, like really hit him hard.
Oh,
and then Madison
really?
didn't come in much.
That's why he
That
didn't
makes
play.
sense.
I remember the hit. I didn't realize that's what happened.
Still like him as an RB2.
I still like him.
See, I
Dalt's
see.
alwa's on his Vikings running backs too.
He does.
Yeah, Dalt
Yeah.
loves his
He does like his Vikings running
Do you
back.
still have Cook? Dalvin Cook?
I think he
Dalt?
dropped him.
No. He's on waivers.
Don't call that out. Big hit for Coleman. Mostert, great, but dealing with an ankle injury.
Is he?
He is. So a lot of
No way.
a lot of
Being
Dolphins
a Dolphins running back
are
must be
hurt
the
right now.
most
Hill might
painful
not
job.
play. We'll get to that, but
Dude, it's Wednesday though.
it is.
I think they'll.
It's early, but there is talks going around.
An
So
ankle is hopefully it's a low ankle. If it's a high ankle, that's not good.
yeah.
He's also he's old for a running back. 31. That's crazy.
I do want to talk about Amon-Ra for a minute,
He's amazing.
and he is unfucking believable.
He's so
I
good.
wish I could get him.
The
There's
crispest
just no
routes.
way I can ever get him.
Yeah.
He
I
is
agree,
so
and I still
freaking
like that
good.
trade. However, Mike Evans has not been hindered by the injury, and his performance hasn't dipped. I still like the Amon-Ra, but we've been talking about that side of the trade.
That's
Was
very
it Evans
good.
and who?
Cooper.
I think I'd rather have Amon-Ra.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
situational. It's
Yeah.
situational. I just think like the idea was Mike Evans maybe would
Was
have a
it
slip.
those two just for Amon-Ra?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Amon-Ra. That's how much I like Amon-Ra. I think he is just a stud.
I'd put it.
He's Cooper Cup for the Lions.
I'd
Yes.
put it as a push now.
Who is a good offense now?
Because,
Yeah.
like you said, Evans has actually
Yeah.
he's just been amazing.
I'm just saying it's a fair. I picked the Amon-Ra side, and I still think I
He
would
had 19
as well.
targets.
But yeah,
It's unreal,
And,
dude.
they-
Like,
but- and it was a terrible game
Yeah.
for them, and they got 16 points, no touchdowns.
He does have a little bit of an injury type of
He
tag
always
to
does.
him. It's always something you just got to watch, but he's amazing. I mean, he is. He's that short. He's going to get the dink and dunks, and he's going to take him for a little bit further. So I liked it. I like that Coleman went out and got his guy. Like he had
Yeah.
depth, and he went out. He said he wanted him, and he's performing for him. And I think it's pretty.
More
cool.
people should do that.
It's all
you know?
that he-
Go get your guy.
Dalt said he dropped that guy, he's a bum, and then said, LOL, he's my guy, though.
Yeah,
He is this
He's
guy.
a bum.
But you can't. The history, you can't get rid of like.
That's
when he
why.
did
That's
well
why I'm
for
so
it.
surprised because the history of him having Dalvin Cook was not a happy history.
Well, he reached one
Injuries,
year at
injuries,
pick
injuries,
4,
injuries.
but
It's like, yeah.
All right.
Beyond with his team, Ayuk seems promising. I think he wants Debo there.
He's got so much depth.
He's got a lot
Honestly.
of potential. He's also a very young
He's
team.
got Olave,
And
Garrett
Mostert.
Wilson as well.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of what we talked
So
about with some
much
of the
depth.
early trades. Is
Tajay
like,
Spears, who could be very interesting.
Yeah.
Henry gets traded.
yeah, very interesting. So,
It's his Jameer Gibbs is just
well,
Well, he had 26 points.
I know,
He
but
did.
that's not gonna
I-
it's gonna be wild.
I think it could
it's
get
gonna.
better for him because look at his yards per carry every game he plays. His yards per carry, other than game 2,
I think it's gonna be
It's
receiving.
really,
though.
really good.
He's gonna need.
He's
the
gonna be
he also had 10 targets.
he's gonna be I don't want to bring it up again, but it's gonna be mixing pretty much. He's gonna get 10 a week.
No, I think I
With
think
maybe
that-
some upside, I guess.
I think when
don't know.
Montgomery's injured,
I mean,
Gibbs
just
is
what
going
I'm
to be
looking at.
really good.
right,
Well,
but
while he's
Montgomery's
hurt,
only probably a week or
Montgomery
two
comes
more.
back.
But that's
Through the
the
bye.
second quick injury in a row.
Yeah.
It seems like he's injury prone.
That is.
And also, I do think Gibbs only ramps up from where he's at. I think Gibbs is to the point where he's starting.
It's tough telling honestly what they're gonna do with him, but I mean obviously the boom potential's there, right?
Yeah.
So I mean
We were waiting for this game to happen. He finally had a good 20+ weeks.
he's exciting. He's very exciting.
And he doesn't give you bad weeks.
We're gonna hit on it next week, but the thing I want to point for Coleman's team is his draft is what put him in this situation. He is starting Collins and Mostert, who were 2 late round draft picks, and they're doing phenomenal for him. So
And
that is getting
Ayuk
him.
was a somewhat late one, wasn't it?
I mean, he was, yeah.
Ayuk was a 7th round. That's very
Wow, that's later than I thought. Yeah. So,
And damn, he drafted Hawkinson in the 6th.
um,
And holy crap, his draft is insane.
He had a good draft.
His after the first 3 rounds, Robinson was fine. Olave and Stevenson. After that, his draft is insane.
that's where you want to. That's where you want to win the draft, though. You
He
know?
wanted to take Hill, by the way, too.
Good draft there,
Over there.
I know he
Coleman.
switched off from that. Yeah. So
He did do a lot of work before the draft, so he didn't.
he earned it. So
All right, let's move on to Team 6.
Team 6 up 2 spots. Last spot for the seed.
Dalt,
in the
you're moving
playoffs.
up, moving up and up.
Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Dolphin,
Let's talk about him.
cowboy,
Let's do
All right,
it.
hold on.
cowboy like Dolphin.
This one works out the same way. I want to talk about it at the same time. Coming in at number 5.
It does it again.
Staying in the same spot, right?
Wait, does it do it? Oh,
I
it
messed
almost does
up.
it the whole way up.
Almost, but it is Jordan. So
That is
matchup of the
crazy.
week. Not matchup of the week. Matchup this week. So we can kind of compare the teams and see what the outliers are. But I'll say that Dalt is kind of the hot team. Jordan kind of wins a week.
So we're
loses
gonna
a
talk
week.
about both of them. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about both of them then.
We want to talk about.
So it's the 6th is Dalton, 5 is Jordan.
Yes.
They have very similar quarterbacks. And I was looking at them earlier actually when I was doing my rankings. They have very similar quarterbacks. Jordan has a little bit better running backs, but Dalt might have a little bit better wide receivers.
Ooh.
Well, receivers.
yeah.
Receivers.
Well, okay. All right. That's hard. That's a loaded. That's a
Receivers.
loaded.
Receivers. Dalt has better receivers.
You're referring to with Kelsey as
Yeah,
well.
Kelsey.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how he. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's still hard because you got
No,
Debo.
absolutely. AJ Brown, by the way, is insane.
But you have
understand, but you
Debo
got
and
Keenan
Ridley.
Allen right here.
Keenan, yeah, but okay, but
I think
AJ
Keenan
Brown's better.
Allen-
AJ Brown's better than Keenan.
I think they're a wash.
No,
Yeah, I do.
bro, AJ Brown. Look at him. First off, target wise, unbelievable. Point wise, he's the wide receiver 3.
Yeah, Keenan's that wide receiver 6.
I can't degrade what
Okay, wait.
Keenan's
And
doing.
he had a bye.
Is there a points per game on here? They do that.
Yeah, they do,
Yeah, right. Well, usually it's right on the thing. Like right when you click them, it's on their main. Nope, up at the top, I think. Somewhere. It
It's
does it
in
on
the app.
It does it on the phone.
Okay, it should show it right here. Yeah. Well,
Here, I'll go.
he's got 110
I
points,
got you.
and AJ Brown has 124.
I know, but with a bye for Keenan.
I don't. I think most people would take AJ Brown over Keenan.
You just can't outright say it's like
Okay, but
that's not a defining thing.
I
of
think
the
you
depth.
can't outright say that the AJ Brown.
Keenan's
most people would take him.
18.49 points per game, and AJ Brown is 17.84.
Okay, but would you rather have?
That don't
Keenan-
matter. Okay, shut up.
No, they're both incredible.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying,
They're both
would you
incredible.
rather have AJ Brown or Keenan Allen on your team?
It's so tough because I gotta believe Devontae Smith at least
That's-
has some sort
Alright,
of life
okay.
moving
That
forward.
would be for me.
Okay.
That would be the factor. But
So then you got Addison and Thielen, but Addison only has like 3 more weeks,
Yeah.
and Thielen is great.
right. But hold
Then
on.
you got
This is what we said though. You have Debo and Ridley on the bench. So like I was taking that into factor.
Well, you can't take that into factor, right? First off, Ridley's been bad. Like he's been bad. He's just not even getting target. He only got 4 targets actually. Wow. He's the third.
We don't need to go into this.
He's wide receiver 35.
You are correct because Thielen is performing.
Here's the thing: the
you
reason
just
his
don't
receivers are
slander
better.
Allen
The
was
reason
hard.
his I wasn't throwing. I was just saying his receivers are better, and they just are because he also has Kelsey.
Well,
Yeah.
the Kelsey factor is what makes the teams really even to me.
Right,
And this is what we
that's what I'm
always
saying.
had this conversation
That's
with
always
Dolph.
what.
Yeah.
with
That's what
Dolph's
I'm
team,
saying.
That's the difference maker.
The reason I still think Jordan's team is better is because of his depth
Yeah.
and his plug and play ability.
His depth.
It's just hard
Especially-
comparing, it's saying it's a receiver, and then you're seeing Waller, and you're seeing these guys there, and, he's missing. He has Watson as his other wide receiver
Yeah.
that goes in the flex. It's just hard to compare the full room to the full room.
Right,
But
you're
when you
right.
take the top 3 versus the top 3,
It's
give me
even.
Dolph.
Yeah,
Give me
Dolph
Dolph,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Top 3.
Well,
top three
and I
yeah.
took Jordan over Dalt in my personal ranking, but
Comparing
right now,
But where Dalt's team gets interesting
Just running
is
back.
flex 2 or running back,
Yeah.
but flex 2 at Foreman at this point.
which he got an amazing week
Yeah,
out of, and he's
he
not
did.
really going to get that.
He needs that stud running back. He doesn't even need an RB1. He just needs, which Brian Robinson.
I
has
think
been
Brian
at a
Robinson
little
is that
bit, but
consistency. Hopefully Najee gets
He
up.
needs that. He needs like a Mixon that can actually get him like 11 points.
Man, it's
like,
the Mixon
honestly,
episode.
It's in my mind. Like if
Yeah.
he had Mixon on his team, I'd be like, all right, he's gonna at least
But
get
that-
10 or
He's
11.
hoping,
is
he's hoping
Robinson.
Najee does that. Is what he
Yeah.
Yeah. But Najee, I think, is more inconsistent.
Najee
than
last year is what Mixon is.
Yeah,
what
okay.
Najee and Mixon last year are compared.
But this is exactly what Najee did, and then he became a little bit better version of.
Yeah, that's true.
consistent
He got
Mixon.
better.
He
Najee
started
might pull
finding
through,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
He might get a little better. He
Yeah.
might get closer to what he did last week. He's not that great.
Jordan's team's just really interesting because of the Derrick Henry factor, though, to me, and it.
I'm pulling
it has
back a little bit on my Derrick Henry love now too.
you bought in right at the right time,
The
though.
team is like collapsing, and then
Yeah.
and when they made that trade for Byard, that's when I got like
Well-
they seem to want to get rid of their old guys.
But the
where-
thing is what if Henry goes to the
to a good
Ravens?
team, yeah.
Like-
What if he goes to a good? He does like a CMC.
Here's the thing: he's got to go to a team that's going to use him
Right.
all
The way
the
they
time.
do.
Because
Yeah, I would think so.
if he goes to the Ravens, I'm not a super fan because the Ravens will use 10 guys and Lamar will run it a bunch.
I mean, you'll have the Lamar factor, but if they go out and get a Henry,
I think he'd
That's-
be great on the Ravens.
that's the running team you want.
honestly.
Like, yeah.
No,
that's-
well, you don't want him on the Ravens actually because Lamar will vulture a bunch of those rushing touchdowns.
But he's gonna get his. He's gonna be what he is on the current Titans, but better.
Ooh, I don't think so.
Not what he was. on the
Lamar
old
is a
Titans,
rushing
but-
touchdown machine.
Yeah,
It's
but,
kind of like the Eagles. He's vultured a lot.
but if you go out and get Henry, like,
But there are teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm curious. Would you rather have Lamar or Jalen Hurts? You said they were even.
It's so close for me.
Really?
I think the Ravens are really figuring something out. And if you watch
he's
that game,
throwing more.
he
than
is
looked.
showing.
Yeah.
The way he looked, like the eye test for Lamar was like vintage Lamar. Like other, I mean, he played different, but like skill wise, I was just blown away how good he looked.
I will.
so
Like
I
he
will.
would scramble, but he wouldn't run past the line of scrimmage. He'd scramble and wait, and eventually
Yeah.
your guys get open, and he just hit him.
I will say the only thing for me is Hurts is consistent.
Yeah. I like
Lamar
Hurts.
does have the boom, but he has a really low. They have really tough divisional games. That's the only thing that would give me the
Yeah.
Hurts. But
Yeah.
where you drafted Jackson versus Hurts,
Yeah, I'd rather
give me Lamar the rest of the day, the rest of the year, in that.
And
that
going
makes
forward,
sense.
I think Lamar stays a lot more consistent than he was like first game of the season, and then
There was
the Pittsburgh game. That's a really tough divisional.
That's
matchup.
well, all their divisionals are just like he
But
has the
he-
Browns.
but he's
twice.
literally only got those 2 weeks, and every other week has been his worst one was a 17, and everything
Yeah.
I mean, he's been amazing.
Well, we're not discounting him, but Hurts is.
It's about the. It's
he
not
had
really too
112
much
and everything's
different.
been 20.
A 12 and a 19, two
Right.
19s.
Yeah.
It's really not that much different,
No.
other than the 1 week that Lamar
Yeah.
really hurt.
I think it's a valid debate, honestly.
I think you'd rather have Hurts, but like you said, the draft position. But
Yeah.
I also think it's a wash.
Yeah.
Jordan's team's so interesting.
The difference between the two
God.
teams, in my opinion, I think most people's opinion, is Jordan's depth is crazy. He's got
It's
plug and
crazy
play
depth,
and
yeah.
potential.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. I have to compare, but I think Dalt has the least amount of depth out of the entire league.
Yeah.
But I think he's had that all year,
He-
and Dalt keeps on making things happen.
He does. He's rocking that one like key waiver to someone who emerges that he can throw in and make work. But when you
His
have
belief in players that none of us believe in.
AJ
He's a
Brown,
believer.
Yeah.
Thielen, like where he got him, it's crazy.
Thielen
Yeah.
drafted did he draft Thielen?
Yes. Yeah.
Where did he draft?
Well, we're gonna get to that next week.
He'll be on the
He'll
next
forget.
pod, too.
No, we won't forget. Thielen
Okay,
is the
well, I'll
number
just say he
one.
drafted him really fucking late. I just
Yeah.
saw. All right, let's move on to 3.
All right, we have lost
Or 4.
it. We are at number 4, going down 1. This man is on vacation right now.
Again?
Kevin. He is.
Where's
He's
he at?
Penn Island.
Oh, that's a good time.
He's going to become a resident there.
He loves Penn Island.
Caterpillar to all for
You sent
Kevin.
him there though.
The mayor. The
All
mayor.
expense paid.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a key to the city.
How you feel about Kevin's team? After shellacking him.
I don't
I
like
did,
it.
man. I had no issues with that guy.
I don't like his team. I think he's got a lot of scary people on his team.
I find it interesting though that he did drop. Like, you know, him and I competed. Like, he didn't have a bad week. He had the injury, but like, he was the most up and down ranking team that we received.
Really hard to believe in Aaron Jones right now. It's always been kind of hard to believe in him, and then he had a boomer like first half of that first game against Chicago.
It's weird how you like find yourself with players almost every year. Like Aaron Jones is like one of the guys I usually have.
Yeah.
And if you're an Aaron Jones owner, you understand that he has the potential to have like 5 touchdowns in the game easily.
Well,
And
Like
he-
Joe Mixon.
with Aaron Rodgers.
with
though.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so you
but
have
he
that
wasn't
factor.
bad last. I guess he was with Aaron Rodgers last
yeah.
year. But my thing is, he showed the potential week 1.
He did. But
And
he's calling out because it was the Bears.
But he's just
Yeah.
older, and he keeps
He's
getting
older.
injured.
Yeah.
but you can tell the team needs him at the
He
same
didn't practice.
time.
Yeah.
again,
They want him.
Didn't practice again.
They're ramping him up, but
Because A.J. Dillon is not.
it's
not
all about
really good.
injury based
Yeah.
for him. Kevin with James.
It might
Cook.
come down to your QB's Dalt. Sorry, I'm sorry. Keep
Oh, with the matchup this week?
hmm
Yeah, it might.
So,
I mean, how do you guys feel about James Cook?
Yeah, he's so interesting, dude. Like the guy is clearly talented,
Mhm.
but no Buffalo Bills running back is ever going to be a workhorse. So he's going to be dependent on game script.
I think after seeing it this last week, like, I thought there was a point
he
where
still
it was
needs
like,
a touchdown.
you couldn't start him, but now I think the confidence is there. I was really worried with the two really.
Oh, I don't think the confidence is there, but you can start him now. I think that's the way I see it.
I mean,
You're not confident starting this guy.
I cannot be upset with a 7-point game out of my.
you
not
can be with a
knowing
3 though.
But that was like the one outlier. That's why I say if it happened
That's his
again,
highest snaps game of the year.
was it really?
Yeah.
I think you got to roll with him.
You
Which
got
is why
to.
It's gonna be bumpy.
But that's what
as well,
sucks.
yeah.
That's what.
But I don't think he's getting the rushing touchdowns.
no,
Like that's,
no, that'll be
it's
Latavius.
gotten worse now that it's very clear he is not out there in situations.
Latavius
where
actually got the start.
he
this
has
week,
to
technically.
break the run, or it's going to be all through the reception.
That's where he does well.
Yeah.
He does break it.
But like you said, it's game script. You
Yeah.
know, there's going to be games where they're going to drop it down to him.
I think he'd be really talented on another team, just like Zach Moss is talented on other teams. But they for some reason this team, well, also Josh Allen vultures rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
yeah.
But they do
probably-
not run the ball with like one running back. They're like the Ravens. They love
Yeah.
to just give it to a billion people.
He's
And it's
missed-
so weird because I really thought now is the time. Like, they're going to
Oh, I know. I thought they were gonna feed him
Yeah.
like not, and they might still. I mean, it's still early.
It
right?
does seem like a Patriots.
He's kind of a
type
small
set.
guy to feed all the time.
Yeah, I mean, but I think if you look at Kevin's team back to like his team structure, he's missing Kyron Williams so bad right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he has these pieces like
But that's really all he's
Pickens,
missing.
you know.
Everything else is
Yeah, everyone else he's solid. I mean, he's high up in the rankings for a reason. But I'd feel much more comfortable if he had Kyron in there instead of probably James Cook. Honestly,
Yeah,
like if
Cook-
he could start,
Cook would be
Kyron
the one I
Williams-
take out.
It'd be,
at
it'd be
the
between
moment right
Cook
now.
or Pickens.
Yeah, it'd
I
be
mean,
them too. But
Yeah.
honestly, he's solid everywhere else.
Or
it
actually
might be
Cooper. It'd be
yeah.
Cooper. Yeah.
With the way
It would
it's been
definitely be
going
Cooper,
lately.
With
right.
the backup QB.
Yeah, because I think it came out he's starting again.
yeah,
right?
Already
Watson's
announced.
out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Cooper, he can get it done still. I love Cooper, but
You're just praying.
still
It's actually
praying.
the same thing last year. It was kind of the opposite though. Jacoby Brissett, no one thought Cooper was going to be good. Then he
Yeah.
was, and then when Watson came in, Cooper wasn't very good. So
All right. Well, let's go to the next team on this list. Are we at 2 now or 3?
we are at 3, up 1 position.
He's moved up like a position every week.
Yeah, the hot.
Did we talk about last week's rankings, or did you send him in the group chat?
I was sending him in the group
I
chat.
put them in
Yeah.
the group chat.
So hottest team I think right now, Robin.
Started
Coming in
0-2, right? Is that what you
3,
said?
started 0-2, 5-game win streak. Probably one of the most
5-game win
active traders in the last few weeks. No crazy trades, but I think he's just
little
trying to
deals here and there.
build the team that he was wanting or that had gotten injured or anything like that.
I like
So,
his Kendrick Bourne pickup he made today. He does not have.
number 1 highlight.
He does not. Well, I'm going straight to his bench first. is what I'm doing.
Okay, all right, bench.
He does not have the crazy depth
No,
that,
Yeah.
that the other two
Yeah.
teams, the next two teams above him have.
It's just
Ford, but he's injured, so he's not technically
yeah,
a depth
it's the
piece.
Jerome Ford is still
Yeah.
because he has to
viable.
start Williams because of that now.
But I think he's at a point he's starting to choose to start Javante though.
You think? You would choose to start Javonte?
I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying I think
I would start Ford over Javonte.
Robin's
but-
at that point that like it's a pick and choose, but I think he's rolling with Javonte.
Okay.
I mean, he went and got Javonte in a trade. Like I think he.
The very nice thing about his team is his starting lineup is super, super solid.
Oh yeah.
Well, and it's taken a huge uptick because Etienne and Hall, which
Dude, I
is
fucking love
is-
Etienne. God damn.
I've never
dude.
heard you like about like an odd player.
That, I was like in on him too. I
Yeah.
still wouldn't got him from Robin. I was
Yeah.
so in on
Well, you
him.
actually told me like I should have drafted. Like that was the one.
I should have
that
taken him over Mixon.
Yeah.
Is what I told you. And I was like,
Brees
yeah.
Hall seems to be back.
Etienne
Yeah.
is elite. Brees Hall's back.
The best thing he's got on his
The
team
stack.
now is the stack.
Stack is
I wish Kevin was here. It's hurricane season soon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I will say
Kevin does talk about
that
hurricane.
this team does get worse later on
Yeah.
this season.
They usually
It
do.
gets cold.
But right now, and we're not. There's no reason to believe.
Hey, that's an
will
exciting
reverse.
Thursday night. Everyone gets to watch with
Yeah,
some
I know,
Bills.
bump.
Unfortunately, I've got none of them anywhere.
I get to watch his team pop off against me on Thursday. I'm excited. So.
Yeah, I mean the stack's unbelievable.
I
Yeah.
don't like
gotta-
Waddle.
So
Waddle's
why
also
don't
questionable.
I understand that he hasn't been performing, but
That's-
you're just completely out on him. Like you don't think
I'm
he
not
figures
completely
it out.
out on him. I just think he's overvalued. Like if
Well-
he was like his flex 2 wide receiver, but he's like his wide receiver 2. He's his wide receiver. Pittman should be his wide receiver 2, probably. But
It's what to review it. I feel that he didn't draft him. His draft capital, I don't like Waddle in that position anymore, but Waddle,
Dalty is-
you're getting the production still, and there's still the potential for that boom or him to get healthy.
Not
and
really
then
getting the production.
What could it be? I mean, once again, you're not upset with, we get in this with
You're
Mixon and
upset
stuff,
with the wide receiver 36, who's missed 1 game.
but you cannot be upset with
You-
the 9 points a game.
Yes,
or 10.
when you where Waddle was
But
drafted,
he didn't draft him. That's why I
he
just
traded
said,
for him at about the value. Though.
I don't know what I can't remember what that value was, but I am not upset with what Waddle.
What
is.
was the trade?
I would
Deontay
be.
Johnson and
You can get this off of waivers. He's the wide receiver 36 in a 10-man league. He's not even a top.
You wouldn't want Waddle on your. I'm not calling
I
your
wouldn't
team
want him.
out, but you wouldn't want Waddle on your team.
I would
Like,
as my flex 2.
as your
Dude.
flex too. Okay.
I'm telling you, I would absolutely love to have Waddle.
But what I'm
It
saying
was
is
Godwin and Deontay Johnson for Waddle.
where he's
trade.
valuing Waddle on his team and has to value Waddle on his team. He's not happy with what Waddle is.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you would think he would have these boom weeks. I get what you're saying. You
But
think
he-
he'd have the boom week, but he's been like
Especially on that
consistently-
team.
But
the
he's
worst part is that
having, like,
team.
10.
That team is dominating.
Here's
every
where
week.
I view it.
And why isn't
he
Waddle
got
there?
hurt week 3. Which was the blow up. He didn't play in the blow up game week 3, which was a 70-point outlier. He was probably still hurt week 4.
Damn.
Then he comes back and he gets 12 points, 14 points. He got 9 and probably missed a quarter of
He
the
got
game.
6 points.
I said he was still hurt in that game
He
most
plays
likely.
his second highest snap game of his season.
So
But
that's
the other
my
thing
point.
too with
He's-
Waddle is he's injured all the time. And he's injured right now.
But he got 9 points in an injured game. I mean, no one's happy with it. I just don't think.
I'm just not sure why you're trying to argue the point because he's
I guess
doing
I
good.
like-
He's
I-
not doing good.
I like
I'm-
Waddle.
You guys like him. That's the thing.
But
But he's not doing good, and he's the wide receiver 2 on the team.
Well,
He
what
needs
I
a
was-
Hill injury
What I was
because the team
Well,
is dominating
Hill
on
is
offense
injured, so-
every week.
I'm trying to pick a player. here
Every
real
week the
quick,
team
though.
is good on offense.
I
Last
don't
week was their
want-
first bad week.
yeah.
Hold on one second. I wanted to see where you're at.
You
Against
need to go to
Carolina,
the
they got
leaders.
against Carolina they got like
Leaders,
40
players,
points.
And go to leaders and see who's near him.
Against Carolina, they got like 40 points.
If you could do that.
And Tyreek Hill got a bunch. The running backs got a bunch. Their quarterback got a bunch. Jalen Waddle got 14. Against the Giants, the team did amazing. He got 12. Against the Bills, they didn't do great. He got 6.
But
Against New England, the team did amazing. He got 10.
this is where you and I have a struggle because I try to separate names, but like, why are you upset with 12 or 14?
Because he's Waddle and because the team can't go up. The team's offense cannot.
you're saying
get better
that
than this.
it's at his peak.
The team's offense can't get better.
But do you think there's a point in time where Hill doesn't continue to do what he's doing and it does start
No,
going to
not
Waddle?
without injury.
Does it have anything to do with just that Hill is getting so much force fed the ball right now?
But we're
or they're
so far-
running so much?
It has to be injuries then.
You think that you don't think any part of the game plan changes that just favors Waddle like to go back to what it was last year?
Why would this
Rather
change
have-
now?
Would you rather
Yeah.
have Waddle or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore by so much.
Wow, that much, huh?
He's
Well,
not even close.
I mean, I can't say so much. but
DJ Moore has performed
I would
and is the wide receiver 1 on his
I'd
team.
rather have DJ Moore.
I think I'd rather have Waddle.
Yes.
Honestly, what about Olave?
Waddle.
Okay, that's
Olave is like tied with like there's like 4 guys that are number 1 wide receiver on the team, and that team's terrible.
I'd say Olave and Waddle are even. I'd say that's a similar, but I think Olave has.
Ask me
wide
Drake
receiver
London.
one. Drake London. I have Drake
Would you
London.
really do Drake
I'd rather
London
have
for
Drake London than
Waddle?
Waddle.
Okay, let me try one more. Calvin Ridley.
Waddle. Ridley is
I
not.
wanted to see how low we were gonna go.
I'm not saying Waddle's bad, but what I'm just saying is what Waddle
Yeah, that's a
is
good one, though.
supposed to be for you.
Amari Cooper. This is a really
Just
good one.
Waddle, but only because
Of the quarterback.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Okay.
All right.
It's an interesting one,
Move
but
on.
the reason for that I like the trade and his team with that is he had too many mid and like who do I choose to start? So I think it's one of those situations where you talk about the team, and I think I like Waddle there more than Godwin with Deontay Johnson on the bench.
My thing with it too is that he already has like the consistency with Diggs and Allen, and then like you're saying, he has the boom potential that's still there with Waddle. He might get you only 10 for like 4 weeks, but that week when he gets you 30,
Yeah.
it's gonna be nice. And then he has
When it happens.
ETN.
Robin's pretty much like, why are you guys talking about this? He's my wide
I
receiver
agree.
3.
We got
still got upside.
we got into the player, not your team, is what happened there, which we do
But
that sometimes.
I do want to
My
say
only point was that he's not happy with Waddle where Waddle's supposed to be.
Waddle's your wide receiver 2. Pittman is not the wide receiver 2. I can't do it.
It's interesting
Well, that's
though.
if you look at it that way, that's just bad. Don't
I
do
can't
that.
do that at this
That's a
point.
conversation for us to have in person.
Yeah.
So Pittman is easily.
We'll be here until 11 o'clock tonight, guys.
So Pittman, so interesting.
It's
Pittman,
one play.
That trade Robin did with Pittman in it now actually looks pretty good.
Well, now because AR got hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
with Minshew,
Said he's my wide receiver 3. Still got. I agree. As a wide receiver 3, he's great. My only point was you're not happy. Then we got into a Waddle conversation.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not happy
that's-
with
but
Waddle.
that's what's fun on the
For what
pod.
you
yeah, we
know,
like the
Waddle,
big players.
That's where the
but-
bets come and the craziness comes. But
But let's get into this team number 2 here because we lingered on this team for way.
I don't want
too
to.
long.
We talked about team
Well, I
number
mean, we
2.
just talked about Waddle.
Actually, we
Oh,
don't
wow.
talk about team number 2 or 1 very much because by the time we get
We're
towards the end,
bored.
we're always trying to rush
Done.
it. So let's actually get into these couple teams real
All
quick.
right, coming in at 2,
Is Mike,
Money Man.
and did he get 2 across the board?
No.
Oh, there were a couple people. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually surprised those two.
Mike
Not even close.
Yeah.
I want to make sure everyone knows
Yeah, it wasn't
he
close.
did
It
not
was
get.
almost Robin.
I think it probably should have been Robin.
Yeah, it was very close between Robin, but Mike had 2, 3s, 4s. I mean, he definitely favored 2s, but it was close to being favored of 3s. So he's a very across the board team.
Okay.
But
Robin, you're getting up there.
he had a lot of buys last week. He's had 2 stinker scoring weeks, but now when you look at his starting lineup, he's passed a lot of buys. He has a potential
It's probably
tight
the
end-
losing to me thing. Everyone's
tight
like,
end 1, but yeah, he lost to
You had a good week. You
to
know?
Will. So it happens.
Okay, the thing with this team is it's just so good. But what's going on with Pollard? Pollard has not been
No.
as good as we thought.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys have been great.
Let's start another combo.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I
like
absolutely
Pollard.
agree. I like Pollard, but like I think you absolutely expected double-digit points.
The one
every
week where I'm surprised is literally just New England with his output. I expected
With San
6.4
Francisco.
against
Yeah.
San Francisco.
I guess when you look at the matchups, it
it's
makes
not
it a
like
little interesting.
overly
Yeah.
surprising.
Yards per carry are looking at this right now are pretty bad, surprisingly.
It's the receptions that are helping, but
Yeah.
honestly, I thought he would be more too. at
But
this
he
point.
kind
I
of
did.
is, which a lot of running backs in the
Team is
league are.
disgusting,
It's
yeah.
one play usually, and it was like that for
Yeah,
last
it's
year.
still one
You
play.
expect that one long touchdown or a couple
Boom, bust that we
touchdowns.
always talk
Dahl
about.
says your team is disgusting,
I
and
appreciate
your team
that.
is disgusting.
Disgusting in a
Also-
good way,
yeah, in a good
or
Yeah, he means in a good way. Pollard also had 2 touchdowns
he
week
loves
1.
the Kincaid.
Pollard will get more
I
touchdowns.
appreciate Dahl.
Yeah.
He came to bat for me in the chat with Kincaid. I appreciate
Pollard will get more touchdowns. Their backup running back is a small dude, so Pollard
Yeah.
will still be their goal line guy. That's kind of a fluke, I think. That he doesn't have more touchdowns.
Well, the defense has just been scoring so much for him. I mean, the game plan is going to have to change. Like, the offense is going to have to show up.
Joe
so.
Burrow is getting healthier,
Yes.
but I will say the
He's
next
been
2
brutal.
games are a tough couple
It's brutal.
matchups here.
I mean, but Kirk Cousins did it. I mean, so you have to believe that they got to figure it out. If Mixon isn't going to be the one to do it, then Burrow's got to figure it out.
I would hope.
Yeah.
He has the greatest fantasy football player of all time.
Yeah.
Right there. Maybe
Well,
Lady
I want
Tomlinson,
to-
maybe when
He's
fantasy
so
football
fun to
wasn't much of a
watch.
thing,
Yeah,
but
he's the most
man, he's fun to watch.
player. So
Got their only 2 touchdowns last week. He has 11 touchdowns in that season.
I will say,
11.
when you look at Mike's team now,
Scored most quarterbacks.
which we all agreed on this, but like his running back room just is unreal now. Now that you throw Ken Walker in there, I know when we get in and we compare the players, but I just
You'll
Tony
also have
Pollard,
Connor coming back.
Ken Walker, and CMC.
And
like
Connor coming back.
those are top 10 like ranked on the week, like top 15 minimum, like almost matchup proof. Like those are people that would be RB1s on almost all of our teams.
Your wide receivers are sketch.
Oh yeah,
but
that's
when you
always been my
invest in the
biggest-
RB, like
Right,
you have
no.
no choice. Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah,
you won't
I've,
trade
I've gone the
those.
RB route.
Now that I'm
year.
looking at it more, I'm realizing his wide receivers.
Yeah,
I
that's
how
definitely my biggest
Metcalf is doing
weakness.
better. Than
but how sketch is a Metcalf, or is when you're getting
Metcalf
those
is
guys?
sketch. He's not fun. He's a fun second wide receiver, but he's
Yeah.
not a fun guy to have your
I would
because
love-
I've had it where he's my best wide
But
receiver.
I would be okay with Metcalf being my one
Yeah, he's
with
fine.
the RB room.
Oh yeah, you're definitely okay with it, but we got to nitpick the fact that he's number 2. We have to nitpick.
We do.
Oh,
well,
He's
Yeah,
the number
it
2 team. He's
definitely-
clearly one of the best teams in the
where it
league.
used to be really easy to nitpick was this tight end, but I do think a gem fell into his lap.
Well, you got to
potentially.
nitpick his wide receivers. That's definitely
just-
the flaw. He's got Higgins, Flowers, and Metcalf are his 3 wide receivers.
I just don't think I'm upset with that because those were guys that were drafted in the 3rd and 4th round.
He's
and
the
I'm
worst
okay.
wide receivers than I'm not. The rest of his team is so good that he is. But what I'm saying is his wide receivers are like not even top like 7 in our league.
I have one of the worst wide receivers.
Well, there's no
rooms,
doubt, but for
sure,
me,
yeah.
it's when I'm looking at the build of his
You
team.
keep saying you don't want to nitpick the wide receivers, and then you'd be happy with these. wide
Because like
receivers.
when I see CMC, Pollard, and
But
Kenneth Walker,
I know, but we're talking about the wide receivers because I got to find. Otherwise, we're just gonna.
I do think they're
I give
all
it a
like
second.
mid wide receiver twos.
Well, here-
I think they're all that.
yeah.
Well,
honestly,
here's for
when I
me,
look at
honestly,
this.
where the nitpicking goes. That, like we talk about it, it's easy to do with most teams, but I don't feel that he really has the depth that everyone thinks that he does.
No, I
No, I had to do a lot of waiver pickup.
I mean that for me. I mean you're obviously happy with
he
it.
had
Connor.
more depth before.
He
Yeah,
got
totally
really
away.
he got really lucky with the Hubbard pickup right
it's
now.
still really good depth.
And Sutton's doing okay, but like I think everyone says, hey, Mike has really good depth.
I think he still does.
I don't view it in that sense.
He has Connor coming back, who's huge. Sutton has been so good.
Yeah, Suns up.
He's got Mitchell who can fix the issue if there ever is a CMC or can
We don't
help
talk
with
about
the
that.
CMC issue. And then Hubbard's pretty good, but
The Hubbard pickup
honestly,
makes
you
it
got 2 guys that are so startable on those teams on his depth, and then other guys who are easily flexible.
I just mean that's where my
It's-
choice to be.
it's definitely not as good as it was,
I'm definitely. I think it's better. I honestly really do think my team is better with the trade.
I'm still your depth is not. As
Oh,
good
I
as
thought
your
you were
depth.
saying the overall.
But no,
Yeah.
well, what helped you was today's waivers. If we had this conversation with your trade last week and what your team would have looked like, it would have been a lot easier to nitpick you. But now, when you throw in that tight end, it doesn't. It feels like you created a more complete team. And for me, it's the depth.
See what
So,
Dalt said?
What did he say?
He said he had 16 on Kincaid and removed it because he thought he'd catch a bunch of flack for having a third tight end on his team.
that's great.
Oh, that's funny.
But I mean,
It's.
I do hate the Zay Flowers though. Like you put T Higgins
I
up there,
do hate
and I know like Zay Flowers.
Also, his
performing.
snap percentage.
Flowers is great.
His snap percentage went way down as soon as Beckham
Yeah.
came back.
Is that what it was?
Well, I think it was a blowout.
yeah, they.
No, I think
I
it was
think I don't
Beckham
believe
was in a lot.
I think Zay Flowers is. I honestly, once I get James Conner back, Zay Flowers is a bench piece for me.
And that's
I'll
who it
start
is.
T Higgins and DK, unless T Higgins just doesn't figure it out.
It'll be
obviously.
between the Zay Flowers.
It's
T.
T.
Higgins,
Flowers,
and Connor's in basically.
Connor will be in,
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean you just can't beat it.
Man,
Yeah.
T. Higgins, where the fuck does that 25-point game come from?
Well, I think he got
His first
hurt.
week he had 0 points on 8 targets.
Well, they just have been struggling. I think they.
Yeah, you had the Burrow
eventually-
injury too.
They eventually figure it out, and
Wide
honestly,
receivers,
I don't think
69.
it's going to get good anytime soon.
No, I'm
I will
not saying.
say
I'm not saying it
I don't
won't.
think it'll be good for a couple weeks.
Wow, they have some really
Yeah.
tough 49ers, Buffalo, Houston, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. That is a
Jesus
brutal.
It gets nice at the end though.
Yeah,
Jacksonville, Indiana, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City, Cleveland. Well, he's got a little stretch
he
later
does. He does. But they got to figure it out. I mean, the man's hands cannot be broken, right?
Eventually,
Yeah.
hopefully.
But
Let's get on
really
to team
excited about
number
Big
1
Game.
then, shall we?
Number 1
Dak.
for the
Dak.
third week.
Yeah,
Third
'cause
week-
the week we didn't.
third
do,
week in a
right?
row.
Yeah,
So far, you two are the only ones who've been ranked 1. Or
and you had it for 5 weeks, first 5 in a row. So I was 6, 7, 8.
Sounds
yeah.
like then you got to go 9, 10, and then Will's got to get it for 5.
I got to start making them.
Everyone, remember this. Send in your rankings as Will number 1.
I'll have to get like 200 points the next like 3 weeks in a row. All right. This team is just
Talk shit.
fucking insane.
Oh yeah, we're digging in here.
No,
Okay,
I want to hear it dig
I want
in.
to talk some shit.
I want to hear it. I want to do what we did. Let's nitpick.
Let's nitpick.
You
All
also
right.
don't have. Yeah, actually, oh my god, you have Jefferson on the bench.
Let's see here.
Where do you nitpick this team? This is like how I thought about your team, like week 4, week 5. Like this is team, in my opinion, is as good as you're gonna get a team. He's also got Mahomes chilling and
yeah.
Hawkinson.
Oh yeah.
There's no weak spot.
His only weak spot, if you can call it that, is the or flex 2, I guess.
Actually, he's the wide receiver 14 on the year.
Well, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Drake London.
No, now that's better than Waddle. You gotta pick your battles.
That's his weakness on the team, and it's not really a weakness.
Okay.
Especially when JJ comes
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I was gonna say when
If JJ comes back, I don't know if that's.
Oh, they
if
just beat the 49ers.
If they keep winning,
This
yeah.
reminds me a lot of Zach's team. Was it last year or 2 years ago when it was also goaded, but then it just fucking did not work.
It's a game of runs.
This team is fucking stupid.
Well, I
Taylor
mean,
looks really good again.
obviously Chase, Cup, Jefferson. They'll win you. And then
Just 3 players, right? That's what you
yeah,
said.
that's all you need.
Cup, Jefferson.
Swift
Taylor,
does seem to be
Mahomes,
coming.
Hawkinson.
Swift seems to be coming down.
Yeah, I mean,
JT's kind of in a committee. It seems like right?
that one, I'm trying to be quiet, but that one I don't think you can say committee. It is
What do
just
you mean,
going
50%?
It's going up.
It's committee.
Yeah.
It's committee
It's
right
committee.
now.
Gosh, no.
It is,
50%.
No.
it is
It's legit
still
committee.
currently committee because Taylor looked great and was healthy last week, and they still and Moss still looked great.
But
In
what's
fact,
the
Moss still averaged 4
conversation?
yards per carry.
It's going up. When does the conversation of a committee change? Because I believe it's going to go 65.
So the
If
conversation
it's
for
65, it's still
committee
committee.
changes
Okay.
for me when it goes to 70%.
70%. Okay, that's all I want to know the number.
I think Taylor will still be great all year.
Yeah,
I
he'll
think
be
Taylor
good.
will also stay in somewhat of a committee all year. I
No
think
doubt.
Moss has proven he's just really fucking good.
And I'm sure they want to keep Taylor healthy.
Yeah.
As well.
I'm actually, as a Colts fan, it's one of the few committees I'm actually okay with because a lot of times committees is like one running back doesn't really do much, but both of them are producing like crazy. So.
It'll be interesting when Jefferson comes back because that obviously will put you way over the top. But I think right now
It
it's
takes Hawkinson down, though, in my opinion.
I don't know.
It does. It takes Hawkinson down.
Yeah.
Does it though? 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean,
because
Addison pretty
Addison-
much did what.
That
Right, but because
JJ did.
because Addison is clearly showing he's a target guy
I
that
guess
will self to get targets when
we have to
Jefferson
see
comes back.
who he chooses to go to number 2 at that point. Does
Yeah.
Addison dip into that role? You know, does he
I don't
carry
think
that
it takes
over?
it down enough compared to other tight ends. Honestly,
Hawkinson's the tight end 4.
I understand that.
No, I thought you guys told me he was like the 1 or the 2.
He's all one.
I thought he was
Allen.
one.
He had those.
So
low
he's
leagues.
he's actually lower than Laporta.
Yeah, Laporta's been that good.
Oh, Hawkinson is not
Wait.
been as good as I thought.
No, he's just being a tight end.
But look at his targets. I guess it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean you can't beat it.
Yeah.
So,
He's just not getting the touchdowns.
but I mean, obviously you're in the driver's seat. right
Myers
now.
is like you were talking. You
Myers
offered me him a
is so
trade like at
good.
one point.
No,
I was like, no way.
Yeah,
He's like, I actually like Myers. Like, no,
no one. Would,
no.
Yeah.
I take that back. He's just really fucking
He's
good.
so good.
Every single week, he had one bad week, but
and it wasn't Garoppolo. His
Yeah.
bad weeks are usually without
the wide receiver
Garoppolo.
14 while sharing with Adams.
with 2 games where he got
And
4
backup
points.
quarterbacks.
He was out of game too.
Here's the thing though.
He's out of game. Yeah,
You got Swift, and I'm wondering if they can keep riding.
We don't need it to.
I think Swift will.
You do. Though.
I do.
You can't start all wide receivers.
I will. I'm gonna bench a running back and just go all wide
I
receivers.
love it.
But whereas Mike's team is the best running back team in the league by a long shot, your team is the best wide receiver team in the league by a
I
long
finally
shot.
got that. That's all I wanted.
That's actually interesting though. We'll see how that plays
It's the
out.
wide receivers versus the running backs here. The difference, I think, between the two is you have a tight end and slightly better flexes.
Oh yeah, and he has a better running backs than I do wide receivers.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to go with the Swift,
Right, if you compare his-
that's
No, I agree.
Yeah,
If you
well, that's
compare
why I
your
like to
running
have
backs
that
and-
conversation because what I'm saying, like
That's where
his
his
tier
goes
tier
over the top.
is lower than that.
That's
in
all we
my
have to
opinion.
nitpick. Is that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
you're right. Your running backs are actually really good, but they're nowhere near what your wide receiver
or what
your
other
wide receivers are.
other teams.
But the other
running
thing
backs
too is
are.
you have a really good tight end, and Mike still is dealing with trying to find a tight end. We'll see if Kincaid works out.
I found
You
him.
have a great one.
QB too. I mean,
And QB.
I think Burrow is gonna be that guy, but
Mhm.
Mike's had to struggle.
You're
upon,
always
so.
happy with Mahomes.
Yeah, I
Especially
mean
that-
Mahomes has been
Good division.
good, but
He's not
last
been-
week was his best
He
week.
did. He's not been doing what you
Yeah.
expect out of Mahomes,
Yeah.
but it's nice to just have someone there and not worry.
Yeah,
But I will say the most frustrating thing that's been with
QB3.
Mahomes this year,
right. I mean, he
Is-
just came off 33 points.
He came off 33.
I mean,
I know,
the
but
man always has.
that's huge.
16?
Being able to do that.
right. I was saying he wasn't. Obviously, I would want Mahomes, but I was just saying, if we're gonna nitpick, he hasn't been otherworldly other than this week.
Oh, this week. No. He pretty much just had his points at halftime and he stayed there in like every game. He's always at like 16 and then he finishes the game.
I
with
mean,
18.
25 is good too. I mean, obviously he's good.
Okay.
We're not going anywhere with this.
Matchups.
We should move on.
Yeah.
Let's do these matchups quickly.
We need to get you to be able to pull this up.
Did you draft Jacoby?
Yeah.
He did. He did.
He drafted Jacoby.
Booty.
Everywhere.
Bears that go blue. Oh, he's talking about the Colts, Moe. Them Colts?
He's talking about Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, fuck Michigan.
They're cheaters.
Actually,
Yeah.
I like Michigan. But not as much as I like Ohio State.
All right, let's get into the matchups real quick, and then we'll skedaddle on out.
Dude,
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
We appreciate it.
I don't say that yet. They're going to leave.
We know we got 7.
We got matchups.
We got matchups.
Here's the first matchup. It's the Loser Bowl.
All right, so
This
we
is
got
for not golfing in women's clothing.
potentially. It's a long season.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's
Will
huge.
versus Logan.
Will
This is
versus
basically
Logan.
my Super Bowl.
Not counting podcast members, 50% of the league has Will.
So 50% of
No,
the
57's you.
You said 57%?
Yeah.
Oh, they said 50%. Okay.
Yeah.
57%.
we vote for you over the 50.
57% is
Cowboy.
On Cowboy.
on Cowboy.
Cowboy.
All right, so Will, who you picking? I need to get the fucking faces.
I am
that's
picking
I always think about that when I get here.
me.
Picking you,
Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Gotta get used to his name.
Let me dig into this.
Brock Purdy hurt. A lot of good matchups on Will's side, but man, you just feel like Logan's team has to figure something out. I don't like the Dameon Pierce start, but Goddard against Washington, I'm gonna take Will on this one.
That's very surprising.
I am gonna
Also surprised the league
go.
Looking at the teams.
I'm gonna
It's like a college team playing a pro team.
I'm gonna go Logan. I think Saquon, Jacobs, and Devontae Smith have great weeks.
3 guys. It's always 3 guys for you.
Those are my 3 guys to
Yeah.
watch.
Okay. I think also Puka's pretty good. And Laporta's pretty good. Pretty good. In my team, I have Pacheco. My best player is Pacheco or Kirschenkirk.
It's been a good sport, Will.
So
You're making it fun, man.
Hey,
It's hard to do.
57%.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
57% picked me.
I know. I just
don't know
I
how.
appreciate your
If I can
attitude
bet
towards
though, I
this.
pick
It's
Will to
Cowboy- it's
win,
Cowboy
but
mentality.
then I want to take the plus 400 that Logan's amassing right now.
It's plus 400 to pick Logan.
It's got to be getting up to
Can
there.
take Logan.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, if you
We have the
all-
same record, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It's not like I've won games. I have worse team and have the same
You
record.
took down a disgusting team. So don't
Yeah,
forget
he had
that.
buys.
Yeah.
Actually, who did Logan beat? Logan beat Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big wins for both the
Yeah.
squads.
All right, the next matchup.
Who you got? You're
That's Coleman and Brad.
Coleman and Brad. We have 71%
Projection close.
of the league is picking Coleman.
Really? I never turned my. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, Will didn't get to fix him.
right.
That's not what I was gonna say.
I look at this. I think it's an Eckler get right game, especially against Chicago. With Herbert. Devontae Adams. You gotta think he figures it out. Is Garoppolo back?
will be back. Yeah.
I like that.
Should be, I guess.
I thought he wasn't supposed to be back.
Oh my god.
That's just
This is
for some reason I'm thinking that I could be so wrong.
It's all depending on if Moster plays. I mean, obviously, if Moster doesn't play,
Okay.
Here's my other
Montgomery
question.
gonna be back?
Right, that was my question. I know nothing about
I
Montgomery.
don't think
That's
so. I think it's another week.
Why would in their bye week next week? Like why?
Yeah, if the bye week's next week, he will.
So Gibbs by himself against
Yeah.
Las Vegas
Solid.
tips it for me because Mixon's versus San Francisco. So I'll take
I'd take Gibbs.
I'll take Coleman.
Kittle. Oh, but Kittle might not have his QB.
Is he gonna start Olave?
Well, I mean, he has some decisions to make. So I think he was waiting with the jail and the seeing that situation play out. So now obviously he's got to deal with the Mostert situation.
Man, he's so deep. He
Yeah.
must have a tough time each week picking his players because I think I would start Olave and maybe Garrett Wilson.
You talk him into some rough stuff sometimes. So
I would consider starting Olave over Gibbs and then Garrett Wilson over Collins.
You have Ayuk potentially with the
I would
backup
start Garrett
QB.
Wilson over Collins too.
as well.
You would too.
I
I would maybe start. I would probably start Gibbs.
I would not start Olave over.
Yeah,
over,
now that I think of it,
yeah.
I would start Olave over Collins.
You definitely can't bench Gibbs. That's crazy.
Yeah, now that I think, especially the workload.
In a blowout game, he still was great. And
if I would maybe bench Ayuk with the backup QB.
No.
That's the interesting thing. But
the backup
QB is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, it's
Sam
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold. Sorry.
But would you rather have Olave or Garrett Wilson there?
I mean, I feel like Olave is still performing. Like we're talking.
Yeah,
about,
that's
like,
my thing.
I would rather have Olave.
I'd rather have Ayuk over them, but I'd rather have both of them over Collins.
Okay. I think that's a good way to put it, Will.
All right.
I'll pick Brad.
I also have Brad.
Wait, I'll take it back. I'll go Coleman. I'll switch it up.
And Will, you went Coleman?
Yeah.
So majority of the league, that's very high Coleman.
That's surprising.
That's a very high
It
Coleman.
is surprising, but Coleman's team's so deep.
It's the
They're
guys have to
both deep
perform.
teams.
I
Honestly.
think I want Coleman to win for my very slim hopes.
Really?
All right. Yeah, because that makes both of them.
Oh, I see. Okay, you're getting
only
like
one game
two
behind
people
both.
Yeah,
in
because
that
then you
tier.
would be.
Yeah, I see.
Well, he would need Dalton to lose.
But it means I got two teams I'm closer
no,
to.
he's saying
instead
both
of-
of them would be.
Oh,
three.
I got you.
Otherwise, my game's back doesn't change.
The bottom four is like very
Yeah,
close.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, we got Dalt versus Jordan, the 5 and 6 seed in the rankings, I think,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yep. Also, we had one other close matchup, but the league was 57 split on this. So almost
That just means one more vote
yeah,
for
one more vote.
Who was it? Dalton?
Dalt and Dalt was favored by 57. So
It seems like the league likes to vote for the underdogs.
the projection kind of like
The projections are broken.
and
though.
they've changed, but he benched Watson, which I don't think had much of a point differential, but it is so hard to follow.
I'm benching Mostert if I'm Q. He might have to bench.
He might
Mostert.
have to, yeah.
It's just hard because what
With the
like
injury.
Mike said though, is it a Wednesday?
We'll find. That's why I said might.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I'm gonna lean Dalt in this matchup. I just think
I love
with
this matchup.
Foreman,
But
playing probably that large workload.
does he still have it with Rashad?
I
Uh,
think Roquan comes back.
That is true.
Um,
God, I look at him and Kareem Hunt very similar. You know what I mean? Because I think
matchups.
Yeah,
Pierre
'cause it-
Strong.
You guys said I didn't see that. Pierre Strong like still played a lot in that situation,
It seemed
but they didn't
like
game
it.
plan. So
Oh,
oh
my
wow, Kareem
The
Hunt
Eagles
isn't
play-
practicing.
The Eagles play Washington. Eagles and Washington games are high scoring every time they play. He gets the stack of Hurts and Brown. So I'm
But
gonna
he-
take Dalton. That's my reason. Because otherwise, the players are a wash, but that matchup in particular,
I think-
Decide.
I think Alvin like is gonna go off against Indiana though.
I'm gonna go Jordan
Why is he
actually.
questionable?
Jordan because of Keenan Allen, Lamar Jackson against Arizona, and then Jordan Addison.
Love your three.
Those are my three
You
keys.
guys is three.
Yeah.
Mine is the Jets defense, Deontay Foreman, and Darren Waller.
Not God.
Those are my three.
That's pretty much what won him his week last week.
I'm going slightly to Jordan, but I think this is.
If
one of the
Watson
best
plays,
games
he's
to
starting
pick.
him over Foreman. Okay.
Yeah,
If Foreman had the full workload, I would have picked
yeah.
Dalton.
I think that's the outlier for me. I mean, Kelsey's you're starting to see just pretty much where he's gonna perform, so it's not like it's an outlier anymore. So I'm gonna go with Jordan as well. Also, Lamar Jackson against Arizona is like I said. I think it's the QBs. It's who's getting more rushing touchdowns.
All right. Let's go on to Mike versus
So let's start
Kev.
Watson if Foreman's out.
Yeah. Did you go Dalt, Will?
Yep.
All right.
Mike versus Kev. Quarterback better for Kevin.
I'm beating the shit out of this guy.
Running backs better
It's not
for
gonna be
Mike.
close, Kev.
Wide receivers better for
It'll
Kevin.
probably be really close.
Tight end better for Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin makes games
But
close.
CMC bump. The CMC bump.
Is that how he equates the two people? Is that what I'm
All right,
hearing?
here's the weird thing with this matchup. Even though so you have Higgins and Burrow. They play San Francisco.
yeah,
He's got San
no.
Francisco's defense.
I know.
So if that team does really well against San Francisco, you win, in my opinion.
I've been
Yep.
there.
But
Tyreek Hill.
San Francisco is going to be angry at the last two games, I think although man, Cincinnati come off a bye, so they're playing for it more. Cowboy having trouble. Cowboy's gonna pick. Cowboy's gonna pick.
I'm picking me because why not? I need to get a win. I've lost 2 in a row. It's time.
These teams are very opposite because Kevin's running backs are not good, and Michael's they're not good, but it's easily his weakness. Michael's wide
They're
receivers
not
are easily
good.
his
They're
weakness.
bottom tier in the league.
I'm gonna take Kevin.
This is going to be a close matchup, but Aaron Jones question mark still. Don't like Tyreek question mark.
I think Tyreek's fine.
Amari Cooper backup quarterback. I got to go with Mike. I mean, CMC with a backup QB, that man might just get
I think that might make CMC better. Yeah.
feed the ball. So I'm going to go with Mike.
Okay.
Let's go. I think Kevin was heavily favored.
Yeah, we did not mention that. Kevin was a 71% favor.
Damn, I keep going with the freaking the league on these. You guys are against the league.
Yeah.
All right.
Get your points.
Matchup number 5, last one.
I'll pick
Robin versus Zach.
This one was
Good
100% me, and I'm genuinely shocked that is the case.
yeah, I am too because I'm picking Robin because I think the stack gets it done. I think Etienne has a day.
I don't think it's.
And I think Waddle finally shows up and has a Waddle game.
dude,
I think
and comes to life.
Robin can have.
I'm going Robin in the upset.
I think he could have a really good game. Robin could, and Zach would still. Zach's team, even if his matchups are like, I'm not surprised the league all went. Your team is just super stacked right now.
No, I'm not like trying to discredit my team. I just thought like I'm playing the hottest team, and like his team is all there. He has no buys or anything. I just didn't think 100%. I mean, even Robin didn't pick himself. Like, even if you just gave that pick up, like
Those never count.
I just didn't. I was shocked to see 100.
I mean,
I can't not go with your team right now. Your team
I just got to
right now is what to me. Mike's team was in week 4. It can't look better than it does to me right now. So I can't go again. I can take the matchups out of account.
it can get better. Here in about a couple weeks.
No, I'm taking into account that. But what I'm saying is like his team looks goated.
Yeah, it looks good.
I just can't not take it right now because it can look a lot worse because your team to me looked like the best team I've ever seen a couple weeks ago.
Dang.
I
And
appreciate that.
I don't like hearing that though. What's coming?
well, I mean, your team is also looks like the best team I've ever seen before. And
Yeah,
it's changed.
and even the champion. So
I
was
really
last
think
year.
he gets it done with the stack, and I mean,
but-
Brees Hall's due too for another.
do again.
Do again.
Yeah.
The thing,
against
you're
Giants.
you're on the left side, and left side wins most of the time.
Most of the time.
We learned last week left side undefeated.
Ooh, man, I kind of like that. I need to look at that. I mean, I'm going to stick with myself. I mean, I can't just go against myself, but I'm nervous for this.
It was bad last week. Logan was the only person to pick Will to win,
Yeah.
and it happened so
Good
far.
job, Logan.
So you're that guy. I'm excited that the Thursday night game is going to be something
It's
to
gonna be a fun
watch,
game.
but I'm going to hate watching.
Yeah,
I know
those are the worst games.
it's
to
the
watch.
worst because it's just every time it's a high score, it's going to happen right away, and I'm going to feel like I'm in a pitfall.
And Allen and Diggs don't have bad game. I mean, Allen has had one bad game.
Yeah.
Actually, 2, kind of. But
Yeah.
Diggs does not have bad games.
No.
Oh, Diggs.
He also said he's upset when he messes up our parlays and our fantasy teams, which I don't think he really does much.
He never does.
Yeah. He's a winner in our hearts.
We're
So,
doing that wraps up matchups, right?
well, Will, who do you did pick me, Will?
Yeah.
Okay. So that wraps that up, and I think next week we're going to be doing mid-season awards.
Mid-season
Are
awards.
we wanting to fill out like a questionnaire?
Yeah, maybe I'll
thing?
try to make a questionnaire.
Yeah, we can get together and do
Yeah.
that and kind of get a feel for the league. get
Yeah,
their
we like the
input, and
league,
then go from there.
Coming in, we'll try to make it
Interact.
interactive and do things we can to get back to where we were. This was tough doing the 2 weeks, and we had some big trades back in the past. Not much here, but
Is next week your last week before you go on your?
I might have the one more there, but there will be an absence for me of like 3 weeks.
We'll need a third person.
Production value is going down.
I like that you're adding this in here. This is a good idea.
Well, we love you guys.
Happy
Like I said,
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Safe decisions, pictures of your costume.
Yeah, picture your costume.
Let's see 'em.
Enjoy it. This is SureFire Fantasy.
Wait, we're supposed
Wait.
to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're singing.
Oh, we're singing?
Yeah. It's your turn to pick a song.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you.
Hey.
I know.
I don't know all these words.
I don't know that. All
You did a little blow and I never wrote back to you. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. You guys sing